Good afternoon from the Superbook.com sports desk. I'm Joe Hunk. Titans will begin interviewing general manager candidates today. In fact, they've already started, two of which are going to be in-house, including current acting general manager Ryan Cowden. If the AFC Championship game is between the Chiefs and the Bills, that game will be taking place at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Why? Well, because the NFL noticed and saw when doing the distances between the two cities that Atlanta was the best when it comes to equal distance from both Buffalo as well as Kansas City. And the Raiders begin the process of trying to trade away Derek Carr. If they do not do so by February 15th, he will be guaranteed $40.4 million in 2023. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air, 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in the Music City, especially if you like hailstorms. Yeah. Hope your vehicle survived. It was crazy out there, man.
No, it was bad out there. It wasn't crazy. It was bad.
Oh, crazy bad.
Okay.
Bad ain't crazy.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, hey.
Crappy.
Our guy Stan at Apple Collision can help you out.
He so can. AppleCollisionCenters.com.
Yeah.
Almost
There you
said
go.
call.
Yeah, there's
What
still
the hell?
Yeah, there's still more rain out there, but they think Nash Severe WX thinks that the hail portion of the afternoon entertainment's over. So
Good. That was so
crossed.
bizarre.
Out of
I wasn't
nowhere,
paying
too.
attention, and I heard it. All of a sudden, I hear it just pelting my windows.
It's pelting the hood.
And then,
of
I
the
had,
car.
and then I had three dogs, like,
what happened?
trying to climb inside my body. One of them doesn't care.
Oh, I was going to say, did we lose a dog?
Yeah, nobody told us.
No. No.
Did you give one to Buck?
Tried.
Yeah. So, thankfully we escaped the tornadic activity.
Yes.
Unlike our friends to the south, always thinking about praying for people that run across tornadoes, man, because no rhyme nor reason with those things. That's for sure. Busy day. A lot to get to with regard to the NFL. You got big weekend coming up with games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll visit with Jason McCourty, former Titan.
Right.
Played 8 seasons with the Titans. And now with Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. We'll do that.
Really good on TV, by the way.
Really good.
Yeah.
And he'll be great on the radio, too. We know that. We've had him on. That'll be at 3:20. Kevin Dyson will wrap the season from his perspective at 4 o'clock. Greg Cosell will break down tape at 4:20. And Big Savagery, Ramon Foster at 5 o'clock.
Hey.
Ron Slay's in uniform today.
I'm in the building. I'm in the uniform.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. Hey, I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
TSU Big Blue.
I'm in
Big
the
Blue
building.
Rising. Big Blue Rising.
Although it's not a blue shirt. It's a
Yeah,
charcoal
but big,
shirt.
it say big,
It says Big Blue.
Big Blue Network. Big Blue Sports Network on there.
Yeah.
I found it. I know another Big Blue that's kind of blue.
Who?
The ones up there in Lexington. Lexington.
So, interesting story coming out of Lexington. While we were sitting downstairs, it kind of popped up. But first, we need to introduce Dawn Davenport.
Hello. Happy Thursday, people.
I mean, we've almost done it. Friday Eve.
Yo, right there. Knocking
We
on
are
the door.
there, people. We're there.
Slay's headed to Charlotte.
Shortly.
When do you leave?
7:10 and the flight takes flight.
Tonight,
No, tomorrow. After the show.
after the show.
You're going to need to leave early.
How
Yes.
long you think it's going to take me to get
I don't
there?
know, but weird things are happening at the airport these days.
This is true.
Yeah, but there ain't nothing you can do whether you're there early or late
May
for
have to
these
drive.
weird things.
So I
yeah.
can just no. What is that? That's like 8 hours.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then no
8 or
mountains
9.
after you get past Knoxville.
Oh, yeah, on the way to Asheville.
Man, them mountains terrible.
No, they're beautiful.
No.
That is a beautiful drive.
Yeah,
6.5
not driving
hours,
it, though.
Slay.
Not driving it.
No.
It's a beautiful drive.
Y'all at night, like I done had some trips on that mountain. Coming back from Charlotte, we used to go visit Brandon Knight's brother when he played for the Bobcats. Dog, it'd be raining. Them mountains ain't nice.
They're beautiful.
No, not at night.
Davenport, have you made that drive from Knoxville to Asheville?
Do you think that I have driven that? No.
I don't know, man. You like to drive
But
places.
you do realize that I will fly Nashville, Atlanta, Knoxville to avoid driving. Or Nashville, Atlanta, Lexington if I work a Kentucky game
So-
to avoid
No,
driving.
man.
Our little Phoenix
Absolutely.
trip, you would not have done that.
Oh, no. No.
No way.
You would have been like, see you Thursday.
Yeah. No, I'd been like, hey, whenever the
Figure
next
something
flight
else
is,
out.
I'm good till then. Nothing
Yeah.
I can do.
I'm going to take
I
up
can do it.
residency in Phoenix
Yeah.
for a week.
No, my anxiety is I can't handle the drive thing. Do you know what? I drove to Mississippi State. I drove to Starkville.
I've done that.
Once at night and ended up on some back road with zero service. And I didn't know how the hell to get out of there. And I thought that I was going to be murdered and done for.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there that was going to help me.
I see. That's
And I can't ever do it anymore.
I'm telling you,
agree
man,
on that.
backwoods Mississippi, that's a tough place to be, bro.
It is. And there's you hear howling dogs or wolves or whatever the heck it is out in the middle of nowhere. It's some creepy.
See, that's why lanes
No.
should change that. Come to the SIP except at night.
Correct.
Come down here playing around at night. You ain't got no business down here.
We drove to Starkville. When I was at Tennessee, we went to the 1994 Tennessee-Mississippi State game. We drove down there. We stopped through Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We got off the interstate, drove around campus, blasting Rocky Top out of the car.
Dude,
Tennessee wasn't even playing Alabama that weekend.
man,
I thought we were crazy.
I would have been pelting you with eggs.
No, you wouldn't. You would have been in our car
No, I'm
playing
saying if I
Rocky
went
Top.
there, yeah. No, I would be hanging out the car, hoping not to fall out, because I would have been screaming to the top of my lungs. Absolutely right.
Oh, man, what a trip. That trip, we rolled through Atlanta, and I was like, man, I need to pee, but let's get through Atlanta first. Don't ever say that.
I was going to say,
You
what?
will never get through
So
Atlanta.
won't.
2.5 hours later,
Yeah.
kidneys rupturing.
Gatorade bottle.
I didn't have it.
Oh, Lord.
I just had to deal.
Ooh, you probably had about 16 ounces in you.
I mean, it was painful.
Atlanta,
Speaking of
man.
college football, Babs
Yeah.
threw it.
Hey, we better watch out. We're going to be Atlanta soon, traffic-wise, if we don't do something about it.
Dude, it's not
No,
that
we-
bad, man.
But we ain't going to do nothing
But
about it. That's what the
Atlanta's
thing
not that
is.
bad?
No, Nashville.
Oh, it's not right now.
How many more years? 2?
I don't know. Ask the 120 people that moved in here today. By the way, welcome to town if you're new. Welcome. We love everybody here.
Hey, you were new here once, too.
Yeah,
Homegirl.
20 years ago.
What is
I'm
wrong with you today?
established now.
Fired up.
Boy.
Fired up. People move in, don't know how to drive. It's raining.
Wait, I've ridden behind you before.
I mean, I move.
You most definitely move. I like to move it. I
So,
like to move it.
17.1 million people watched the college football playoff,
Correct.
which is the lowest
Which is
number
weak.
in the history of the college football playoff championship game.
Yeah.
Now, how much of that was blowout early on, and how much of that
That
was
contributes.
not as much interest with a TCU participant? I'm curious what you guys think.
Very low interest level with TCU,
That's what I was going to say.
but
I mean,
also
still
blowout.
Texas though.
70-30. 70% because
So
it was
you
TCU.
you think more so? Well, I mean, it obviously both are a factor, but you think even from the get go, if it would have been a closer, or even a decent game, no.
Nah.
Plus, you had a repeat team, too.
Yeah,
I think that
that don't
plays
help.
into it.
Yep. That don't help.
Well, and what? a line that ended up closing at, 12.5 or something crazy?
Yeah, like, why do I need to watch this?
Right.
It's going to be a blowout. Just bet my money. But hey, listen, that's what's going to keep happening.
By the way, did you see Nick Saban's final poll?
What did he put?
Oh, yeah. Pull that up.
Georgia 1, Alabama 2.
Saban
Tennessee
serious,
6.
Yeah, you know where Tennessee was? 6
6.
See,
This is how Tennessee didn't end up in the top 5. Because of him, Butch Jones did the same thing.
Of course Butch Jones did that.
And there was one other coach I can't remember.
probably
receipts.
Thumbhead, Jeremy. Oh, he ain't no coach no more. Okay.
What, are you kidding me? I don't even think he's a high school coach.
Thumbhead, is that what you called him?
Yeah, like a little thumb.
Who else?
I don't know.
I want to say
Huck,
Kirby.
who's the third coach that
Kirby had
that
it.
dogged
Kirby.
Tennessee in the coaches poll?
I sent it
It
yesterday.
might have been Kirby.
I'm about to say it was Kirby.
Yeah, I think it was Kirby.
I would mess Nick Saban hair up if I was next to him.
Just run your hand through his hair?
Your little Jimmy Johnson hair. Come on,
He
man.
gave you that look like he gave David Pollock.
Yeah, I know. And then he had all them state troopers probably attack me.
Mm-hmm.
It really looked like when Pollock talked about Georgia dominating the college football world now sitting next to Nick Saban on television, you could see in Nick Saban's eyes like the hit went in.
Yeah.
Like right there in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 coaches that voted Tennessee outside the top 5, Nick Saban, Butch Jones, and Don, what's that word you always say for a bunch of
Bunk.
nope.
Shiano?
There we go.
That's right.
Greg Schiano did it.
Yes, that's right. I
All the
forgot
people
about
that-
that.
come on.
Of course Schiano did it. He will forever have a vendetta against Tennessee for
I'm ashamed
that
of Butch.
entire thing.
I'm ashamed of Butch. Though.
Yeah, I might need to shoot him a text.
I'm
on that.
ashamed of you, Butch. Now, come on now. Mr. Brick.
I don't
What?
blame
What you mean you don't blame
him. I mean, it's not like he had a nice finish at Tennessee.
That's his fault.
It's okay that you can take. It's okay to have personal stuff though.
Not nationally.
Like Schiano, I totally get it. I mean, because of that entire Tennessee thing, Coach Greg Schiano is now my word for beep.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But still, though,
S-bomb.
Babsy, that don't
So,
make it right
like-
national level. No.
Oh, sure it does.
No.
You can get your emotions involved. This is football.
I talk about
Emotions are
Kentucky all the
okay.
time. Kentucky.
And you're telling me if you had a vote
I wouldn't.
that you would not factor in your personal emotional hate.
Nope. Mm-mm. When we were talking on this, Yoro said, who you think gonna win the SEC this year before preseason? I said Kentucky.
You still think that?
No. They don't even get to use the T anymore.
Speaking of Kentucky, we'll talk more about this a little bit later, but this interesting nugget popped up while we were downstairs. Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio, passing along the information. John Calipari will not do his pregame press conference tomorrow. Bruiser Flint will do it.
Is Bruiser on his staff now?
Yeah, that's what we were just saying.
I know. I didn't know that either.
He snuck Bruiser. He had to
Wow.
when he lost Kenny Payne. He couldn't recruit. You see what the class he got with Bruiser coming in there?
I love me some Bruiser.
He snuck Bruiser in
Where
there.
did I
did.
get to know Drexel? He was at Drexel for a long time.
Look at you.
He's awesome.
Babsy.
Well, I had him playing.
Basketball
I was
world?
like,
That's
when,
right.
when his name popped up, I was like, didn't he play at UMass?
Yep.
And Slade looked him up. He's like, no, he coached there, though.
Yeah.
Dude.
He was super
major
successful
hire.
at Drexel.
Very. Coach, one of my best friends.
All right, coming up, former Titans defensive back Jason McCourty, now with Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. We'll talk NFL football with him. He did the Titans game for Westwood One, Titans-Jags. And we'll hit this weekend's games as well. That's coming up next. Jason McCourty, 3HL, 104.5 The Zone.
Music to my ears when you find a car that you like. Music.
What's wrong with her?
Place, I want to know.
What's she doing?
Upset. I don't know. She's upset.
I'm gonna turn all these lights that Buck puts on me.
Yeah, he needs to stop that.
Well, not me, but this seat he puts on himself. And then when I sit here, they're still on.
you.
I'm going to turn them all on Davenport.
Put all the lights.
You could be a star.
You people out there, you can be a star. If you go to Music City Autoplex and find the car that you would like, then the light will be shining on you. 2430 Gallatin Pike North, just 15 minutes from downtown. You got to be sure to tell them Big Slay sent you in order to take part in everything that's going on. You want that guarantee? The guarantee that the prices will be the best in Middle Tennessee? Then Tell them Big Slice sent you. They want you to shop around, go compare all the prices that you want in the other places. Does not matter. On top of the already low prices, the year-end sales event has been extended into January. They are taking deals. Yeah, they are taking the deals. Yeah, you haven't seen them in years, but you can make it all happen. Just tell them Big Slice sent you and go get your car.
Brentwood Jewelry has new hours for 2023, so take note when you go in and see my guy, Salem Amamali, Brandon, everybody at Brentwood Jewelry. They're awesome people, and you need them in your life. But you'll have to do it as they have different hours starting now, actually. It started January 2nd, so in 2023, Brentwood Jewelry will be closed on Sundays and Mondays, so they can spend more time with their family in the coming year. They are still open regular hours Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Saturdays 9 until 4. And always a click away at BrentwoodJewelry.com. It is time for the perfect proposal. Brentwood Jewelry is here to help you pop the question. Let them help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. You can browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings or talk with their custom design specialist to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. Also, Valentine's Day coming up, Mother's Day coming up. You can combine those two holidays by shopping at Brentwood Jewelry. At BrentwoodJewelry.com, right? It's like BrentwoodJewelry.com, 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Again, BrentwoodJewelry.com. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay.
Coming back with a little Scarface right there.
Might as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
Producer Joe Hunk.
See you, Hunk.
The man, the myth, the legend.
He does have hard to say goodbye, like on cue, like ready to go. I see it on my computer. We played this song like 5 times yesterday for various reasons.
Yeah,
Are we going to be playing it to Tannehill at one point?
I don't think so, but maybe Jason McCourty has some inside information from the NFL Network. Good Morning Football. Played for the Titans for 8 years. You guys know that. Jason, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to hear you guys, man. I haven't heard from you guys in a while now.
I know. You get back to Nashville at all much?
I was down for the alumni weekend with the Titans and Oilers. That was awesome. That was really cool to be at and see so many of the guys, especially those Oilers players. They told a lot of Bud Adams stories, which were pretty remarkable.
How much fun is that, like, to get back with the guys that you don't normally see very often?
Oh, I was drafted with Kenny Britt, Ryan Mouton, Gerald McGrath, and I don't get to see those guys often. So to be able to come in town, be able to hang out, and obviously none of us are playing anymore, so you can indulge in a few adult beverages. You get to see some of the guys on the team. So we had a blast.
I loved y'all's group, that secondary and that entire unit. You guys were so much fun to cover back then.
I appreciate it. I just wish we could have won a few more games. So you loved us, but we didn't do a lot of great stuff on the football field, that's for sure.
Well, you're doing great stuff now. Did you always know that you'd jump into the broadcast side of it when you were done?
I knew I enjoyed it. While I was in Nashville, I did the radio show, the J-Mac show for a year, did some stuff with the Titans. When I got to New England, my brother and myself hosted our own podcast for a few years. So I always knew I enjoyed talking sports and being around it. But I didn't know for sure. You don't know what the opportunities and possibilities are. And I think while you're playing, you think it's going to go on forever. And last year, injuring my foot, we went into last year knowing, like, hey, this could be it. And then once I got hurt, just started to explore different opportunities and got a chance to go out to LA for the NFL broadcast boot camp and finished up with that and was still trying to waver between rehabbing and playing or not. And next thing you know, there were opportunities that kind of came from that. So I felt like the timing was right, and it's been an incredible ride and journey and transition so far, being able to wake up every morning and do the show with my 3 co-hosts and everybody behind the scenes.
Love it.
Do you check your mentions? Like, because on that show, you guys have such high energy. Like, we try to as well, but big opinions, too. Like, you're always going to piss somebody off, right? Like, do you check your mentions on Twitter?
Yeah. When you play for 13 years, you go from 1 week, you get an interception, you win a game, and you're the most underrated cornerback in the NFL. And then another game, you give up a touchdown pass and you suck. So I'm used to that. It's funny. I was talking to my brother the other day. He was in the locker room, and one of the guys jumped on the FaceTime. And I was like, what the hell, J-Mac? You was talking bad about us on TV this morning. So that's what you kind of try to figure out, and just like, make sure you're not talking too crazy. And you're just speaking facts and what you see on the film. That way, when you walk into these stadiums, nobody wants to beat you up.
Hey, there's always crazy people out there.
No kidding.
Was it tough for you guys to break up on Twitter? Like, for those that don't know, you and your brother had the same Twitter account for a long time.
Yeah, I think he's still kind of grieving over it. He came in hot this week, coming for me, calling me washed and all types of stuff. So I think he's still dealing with the breakup kind of tough, but it's just part of it. You know, I was going into a new journey in life. I have new friends now, so I don't talk to him as much. So he's been dealing with a lot. On top of that, he didn't make the playoffs this year. He's not used to that feeling. So I think he's still dealing with defeat. Kind of rough.
Not used to that feeling.
Yeah.
Woo,
Tough break.
Yeah, I will say that the Titans did not think that they would have to deal with that feeling this season, and obviously we all know what happened the last 7 games down the stretch. But you actually called that Jags game, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm curious from from a defensive guy, when you watched what they did offensively in that game, what was your thought of Dobbs? What was your thought of maybe play calling and their offensive game plan in that game?
And their game plan stuck to exactly what I thought it was. I think Derrick Henry was right at 30 carries, so they tried to use the run game as much as possible. And to be honest, watching Tennessee over the years, that's been most impressive in the league this year. Well, not just the last few years, the passing game becomes so essential that a lot of teams aren't willing to stick to the run, and they did that, giving Henry the ball as much as possible. In the first half was really good for Joshua Dobbs. I mean, he found Okonkwo, he found Austin Hooper, and was really kind of taking advantage of that lower part of the Jacksonville defense, of their linebackers in that zone coverage. And I think overall, when you got to the second half and as the game continued to go on, Joshua Dobbs was on the Tennessee Titans for 17 days when he was playing in that game for the division and an opportunity to play in a playoff game. And he did really well for what the circumstances and everything that he was under. I mean, he probably just as that game was rolling around felt comfortable naming the entire offensive meeting room. So it was a lot to ask of him. I think Tennessee they were undermanned. I mean, you go into that game, they were on a 6-game losing streak. They weren't playing great, and they did a good job of keeping that game close and giving themselves a chance. I mean, that fourth quarter, they're driving, they have the ball, they're moving, they're winning the game. And you kind of feel like as you're watching it, like, I can't believe this, but Tennessee may actually win this game, win the division, and be hosting a playoff game. And give Jacksonville credit. Their defense stepped up and made a big play to close out that game.
But you're looking at it at a national picture perspective. Now, how do they win like this? You said they were undermanned. Like, this is second year that they're undermanned. What is your perspective from an outside looking in?
And that style of offense.
Yeah, and
too?
that style of offense, exactly.
Well, I think the style of offense this year very different than last year is A.J. Brown's not there. I think when you get rid of somebody like that, when you're game planning from a defensive perspective and you have a guy on the outside like A.J. Brown, but you have a guy in the backfield like Derrick Henry, you commit everybody to the run. Now you're leaving a guy one-on-one. So I think when you lose a guy like that, Treylon Burks wasn't a bad player this year. He just couldn't stay healthy for the majority of the season. And your rookie year, you need those reps. You need to be out there. And when it comes to health, I think the Titans have to figure out like what it is that is forcing so many players, the most guys on injured reserve. Last year, I think it was 90-something guys they had playing and playing throughout the season. This year it was in the 80s. They're at the top of the league the last 2 years. So you have to start to figure out. I heard Vrabel talk about the offseason program. Guys have to show up in shape. And then once they get there, you have to start to figure out between training room and weight room, between practice schedules and all those different things. All right, what can we do to make sure as the season's wrapping up and we have to finish strong in the months of December and January, we need to be at our absolute peak. And that's players, that's coaches, that's training room, weight room, that's everybody involved of trying to figure out we have to stay healthy, because I think around this time of the year, a lot of teams that you see playing and continue to win week after week in the playoffs, they have their guys. They're out there, and they have to be playing winning football at this time. But I do think their style of game, they can win with it. I mean, they won with it. Other than this year, the past 3 years, they've been in the playoffs last year with all of those injuries, with Derrick Henry out. They were the number one team in the AFC. So it's really figuring out how you're rolling at the end of the season to be healthy, to be able to actually compete with the offense that they do have.
Real quick, Jason, have you seen anything like that? Been a part of it in your days in college or whatever? I know my program, being at the University of Tennessee, we went through that with football and basketball, a lot of ACLs and things, hamstrings and things start happening. So they retooled the strength and conditioning part of the program. Have you seen that before in your playing days? Back-to-back seasons like this?
Yeah, no, not to this extent. And it's so hard in football because the one thing is a 100% injury rate. And I think I haven't seen it to this rate where the same team is at the top of the league back-to-back years dealing with this. And Vrabel alluded to it. Soft tissue injuries are ones that have to do with making sure you're staying hydrated, the work you're putting in the offseason, making sure you're loading up enough that your body can handle it. I'm not going to pretend to be a sports scientist expert, but a lot goes into figuring it all out, practice schedules and all of those things. So I'm sure between Mike Vrabel, Amy Adams-Strong, they have a lot to deal with this offseason, but I'm sure that's one of the things that are top of the list.
Jason McCourty with us at Jason McCourty on Twitter. You can catch him on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, doing great things in the broadcast business. Real quick, one more question from me about that Jacksonville Titans game. The Titans defense gave up -1 total yards in the fourth quarter, but
so good.
Jacksonville scored 10 points. How pissed off would you have been?
Man, it's tough. I mean, you think about it, they gave up 13 points in that game.
Yeah.
And that right there is winning defense, and they kept them in it. And I think you're not pissed off because if you're the Tennessee Titans defense, the last 2 games of the season, last 3 games of the season. I'm not going to really count the one where they didn't play. Well, I will count it. The one they didn't play anyone. As soon as Joshua Dobbs shows up and Vrabel names him the starting quarterback, or even you can go all the way back to when Tannehill goes down and Malik Willis, a rookie quarterback out of Liberty, steps into the lineup. As a defense, you're in the meeting room and it's just like, all right, fellas, like, we know what it is. We don't have to discuss it. We don't have to talk about it. But I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear the offense did this, the offense did that. We know we're going to win this game and get to where we got to get. It's going to be on our backs. We may have to create a turnover. We may have to score on defense. But we know if we go into the game and we give up 2 touchdowns and a kick return, or we're giving up 21, 28 points, we don't have a chance. So I think the defense, they did what they were supposed to. But it came down to one play, and once they got into that 2-minute drill and you're trying to come back, they're already against the wall. So I think for Tennessee, it all fell through. One of the bigger collapses you can say of the last few years, to lose those last 7 games. And the one thing is a credit to them to put themselves in a position to lose that many games in a row and still have a chance to win the division at the end of the season.
Yeah. So you can imagine.
Yeah.
That's
good and terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same time.
Same time.
Exactly.
So you can imagine the fan base here. And now with John Robinson, who was fired, Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator, now fired. So 2 big-time positions open for this franchise, in a little bit of cap trouble. When you kind of dig in deep on this roster. And so obviously, you know, we get crazy calls and lots of them, and fans are wondering what's going to happen, and especially at the quarterback position. When you look at Ryan Tannehill, you know, he's I think 16% of that cap is allotted to Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. I want your take and maybe kind of the national take on Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback, and on the possibility or not possibility of him being a Tennessee Titan next year. What's your thoughts on Tannehill?
Wow, I can't believe you said you guys get crazy calls. I wouldn't have believed that.
We love them, too.
We love them. They're so good. Some of them have been right. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's more fodder to be able to work with, so I love it. I think when it comes to Ryan Tannehill, the thing about our league is you need a guy at quarterback. And is Ryan Tannehill of the elites in the NFL? No, I think he would probably tell you that. But at the same time, he's won football games for this organization with him at the helm. He gets there as the backup to Mariota, and he gets in, and every Tennessee fan loved him, and he was the savior to the organization and gets him in the playoffs or number 1 in the AFC. I think with Ryan Tannehill, he is who he is. You know, you have a guy who is mobile. He can get outside the pocket. He can be able to make those throws on the run. He can putting the ball in Derrick Henry's chest, and he can be able to run and score touchdowns and make moves in that nature. But at the same time, we're down in a 2-minute drill. Do I want Ryan Tannehill as my quarterback? There's a lot of other guys in the league that I may choose ahead of him. But I think if you're a Tennessee Titans fan and you're complaining and you're saying we need to get rid of Tannehill, he's making too much money, this, that, and the third, the next question would have to be is, okay, we don't want Tannehill, then who are we going to get? I think we saw from Malik Willis this year is he's not ready yet. They drafted him in 3rd round. Possibly in the future, he can be a guy that can lead the organization and be under center, but right now he's not ready. So if you're so prepared and you think Ryan Tannehill is the worst quarterback in the NFL, look around the league. There's worse. There's teams that are absolutely struggling and have been struggling to fill the quarterback position for a decade now. So I think the one thing when you look at that quarterback position, before you're ready to write somebody off, make sure there's a plan in place to get the next guy in there so you're just not starting at ground zero.
See, Ryan Tannehill, not that bad.
Not that bad.
Yeah, that was Don's selling point of Tannehill. Not
that bad.
Ryan Tannehill is
not that bad.
Jason, let me ask you this, man. How predictable was the offense when watching the game? If Tannehill's not that bad, yes, you didn't have a guy like A.B. out there on the outside, but you did have some guys that could get it done. Or was it more so of the offensive line when you were watching the game? You asking yourself, how can they run a different type of offense or a different play than what's expected?
I think with Tannehill in the game, you saw, especially when they were at their peak, I remember back, you go, and I don't want to go too far back and go, oh, remember this, that, and the third. But in 2019, the Titans I was in New England, they knocked us out of the playoffs in the wild card position. And you had A.J. Brown on one side, and you had Corey Davis on the other side. And Tannehill was as accurate as can be when it came to play action pass. And obviously a lot of that was set up off of Derrick Henry. And I think the one thing we say is, all right, we're like, all right, Tannehill, he's not Tom Brady. He's not Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and those guys. And then you look at their rosters and you look at what they have on the outside. Josh Allen, a guy like Stephon Diggs, an up-and-comer like Gabe Davis, Joe Burrow is ascending to be one of the best in the league, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. And you look at the Tennessee Titans and Corey Davis left in free agency to the New York Jets. A.J. Brown's traded. Robert Woods is a guy I've competed against. Was one of the best route runners in the NFL. And Robert Woods is your best, and then you draft Treylon Burks. So we're going to say on one end, we know Tannehill, he's not the best of the best, but then we're not even going to surround him with a really good supporting cast. But then we're going to ask him to play at a level that we don't think he's capable of and surround him with receivers that, other than Robert Woods, are not yet proven, and assume that he's just going to lift him to a level that we would ask a Tom Brady to do or a Peyton Manning to do in their prime. So I think it's more to it than just saying, all right, well, he's making this amount of money, he should be doing X, Y, and Z. Well, don't get mad at Tannehill that the quarterback market pays a lot of money. So I just think there's more to it. Predictability comes into it. Yes, when you have Derrick Henry in the backfield and he continues to set a new rushing record every time he steps foot on the field every season, and yeah, we are predictable. We're going to build a team that can block you when you know we're going to run, and Derrick Henry's going to continue to carry the load because that's our bread and butter, and that's what we do, and it's been successful.
Jason McCourty, at Jason McCourty on Twitter. Good Morning Football. You can catch him on the NFL Network. Jay, Mac, good to hear from you, man. Let's do this again.
I love it. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. There he is, Jason McCourty. When we come back, phone line's open, 615-737-1045. We'll take a look at this weekend's games. You got something to say?
Yeah, I'll ask you when we get back. Yeah, it's off the heels of it. Like, if that's the national perspective of it, then how do you go? How can you have your variable? How can you go away from that, regardless of who you bring in here?
It's a great question. We'll dive in when we come back. 3HL on 104.5 The Zone.
Well, we're going to get a lot of answers coming back after this break, people. Hey, guys, but for you out there listening, man, congratulations if you got a full head of hair. I'm right there, too, but it's just like a little tilt on my sunroof at the top. I'm going to fix that, though, you want?
Slim with the tilted brim.
What's my name? Hey, man, advancedhair.com. Call 629-348-HAIR for your free consultation and get $500 off. But get to the meat of this. Want to know the least attractive part of this? Well, it's the aging part. It's the hair loss. No amount of car, house, or success, man, can make up for that. You got to get your confidence through what? Your physical impressions, and that's what Advanced Hair is here to do. It's finally in Nashville. With a quick one-day solution to your hair loss, Advanced Hair could help you get back to 10 to 20 years younger. Well, looking that way. You just really can't go back in age, but you can look younger. No more expensive pills or special shampoos, just very own natural hair guaranteed to grow for life. It's real simple, people. The breakthrough treatment is finally here at 629-348-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Oh, football fans, you want to call your own plays during the NFL playoffs? You can with FanDuel, America's #1 sports bet, because when you bet NFL same-game parlays from now through January 16th, playoffs here, all customers can get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. All customers. All you have to do, place a total of $20 or more on NFL same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus bets during the wild card round. And then the more you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays, great way to combine bets for a chance at a larger payday. Maybe you want to take a look at the Chargers-Jags. Pretty familiar with the Jags, considering the Titans just saw them. Jags plus 2.5. Add in maybe Trevor Lawrence over passing yards, any wide receiver, anytime touchdown for either team, and boom, your same-game parlay is built. You can build your own. You can choose one that's already pre-built for you, and it's all right there in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. If you are new to FanDuel Sportsbook, you can also get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose, when you sign up with promo code DAWN, DAWN. That is promo code DAWN. Get ready for the weekend in the NFL. Got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable. Free bets expires 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
HL 1045 The Zone. Hit us up on Twitter at 3HL 1045. Give us a follow. We'll be your best friend.
BFS.
What are you doing over there? Oh, you're not. Are you making a shake?
Nah, that's at 4:30. I'm on a schedule out here, man. I ain't out here to play around.
You're
man.
not messing around.
No, man. Listen, when I get focused and locked in on something, I'm gone.
He's already lost 10 pounds.
Yeah, I'm down here. I'm down here
That's
rocking and rolling.
crazy.
I'm crazy. How about that?
I heard.
Come on.
I was listening to our station earlier, and I heard you talking about bringing sexy back.
I am.
And you were like, in 5 months. I was like, oh,
I didn't hear it.
not for 5 months.
Yeah, that was what you said when you first got the news that you were going to be bringing sexy back, and you made the announcement.
He got the news he was bringing sexy
I didn't
back.
even know. I'm glad.
Somebody broke the news to you.
Yeah, I'm glad I
Was
know.
it Becky?
Yes. Becky always holding me down. I'm going in, baby. I'm going in.
Oh,
40 and 10.
We got 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, 1 game Monday.
Who was that?
Which one?
2 games Saturday. 2
games Saturday.
football, yeah.
Seattle at the 49ers, Chargers at Jaguars.
The
Sunday
ones
it's
that matter.
Miami at Buffalo,
Whose kid is
Giants at
playing?
Minnesota, Ravens at Bengals. Monday, Dallas at Tampa Bay.
Okay. Let's get it on.
What are you looking forward to most?
Man, honestly, Tampa Bay and Dallas.
Cowboys going to run them.
But guess what?
Oh, no.
Everybody thinks they're not. I'm telling you. They're going to run them. I don't know, y'all. Like, this is them.
Get Tom Brady out of here.
Is it? Okay, so, listen, numbers, I'm cool with all that. That's fine. Shout out to all the analytic guys. I believe what my eyes show me.
What do your eyes show you? That Tampa Bay's not a good football team?
Yes, but Dallas always finds a way to cough it up. They always find a way, especially
Dallas in the
these
playoffs
moments.
is not a good thing.
At all.
No, it's like oil and water.
Dude.
Since somebody sold their soul to the devil in the 90s. That's all I know. They won 3 in a row.
They holding on to somebody. Ain't they?
Gosh.
Okay, so that, and I think somehow that Tampa Bay keeps it close. And we know what going down the stretch. He's done it the last, 3 weeks? Going down the stretch, the game's out of hand. They get close. Brady leads them to, it's what it is. But
Cowboys by by 7 or more.
oh, look at you. Okay. Well, tell me this then. since you got your hat on. Minnesota and who is Minnesota playing?
Giants.
Minnesota and the Giants. Now the Minnesota also, they in that Dallas boat a little bit too with Kirk Cousins. The world's waiting on them to cough it up.
I don't like Kirk Cousins, so I'm going Giants.
See, that's this
NFC East, Slay.
Yeah, no.
We're going back to the 80s.
No, I ain't going.
You ain't going?
No.
Maurice Carthon.
I'm going to stay up here in the 90s and 2000s. What you
Danny
think?
White.
Well, Danny White.
Yeah, the quarterback punter, not the AD.
I was like, the only Danny White that we usually talk about is an AD.
I'm going back to the 80s,
That
man.
doesn't have
back?
anything
Mark
to do.
Bavaro?
You are
Yeah,
going
yeah.
way
Phil
back.
Simms.
What are you going back for?
Well, I pissed Phil Simms off one time. Boy.
Did you?
Oh, man.
That ain't
What'd you
right,
do?
It was just wrong.
Called him
Got
at the
it.
wrong time.
Really?
Well, his son, Chris Simms, was committed to Tennessee, and then he wasn't. Remember, he went on the
I do remember that.
MSG network and announced he was going to go to Tennessee. Then all of a sudden, he's going to go to Texas. So word came out that he had flipped and was going to go to Texas. So I called Phil Simms.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, he hadn't talked to his son yet. Like, he knew it was going on, but he hadn't had a chance to, like, have the heart to heart. Like, what are you really thinking? Why are you doing this and all that? And so he was just like, basically get off my phone.
Oh.
I mean, he wasn't mean about it. He was just not in a good
That sounds
place
pretty damn
I was
mean.
just,
No,
I was
he
gonna
just-
say,
I-
get
I
off
just-
my phone, Yorl.
Yeah, I just hit him at the wrong time.
Yorl.
Yorl. He probably called you Yorl.
So needless to say, he's never coming on with us.
Yeah. Wilbert Montgomery. Let's go back to the 80s, man.
Hey,
Mickey Ryan will sit in here and do it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Roscoe will do
he
it.
will live in the 80s.
He lived in
I think he still does live in the
When
80s.
I
he
think
come
so,
out.
too, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, he's playing Cubert or whatever. Hey,
I love-
Oh, I used to
loved
love
it.
Cubert.
Man, what?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Okay,
That
we're
was one
showing
of
our age.
I'm fine with it.
how did
Take me
that-
to the Great Escape and leave
Please
me there.
explain to me how that popped into my head. Cubert.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. It was
Anyway, so you like Minnesota and Tampa Bay in those 2 games?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that wants to see if the Jags are real?
Jags are winning. Jags are going to win.
I want to see what Lawrence does. I want to see
They're
them
hot,
in the
Slay.
They're hot.
They're the Bengals.
And but here's the
The
deal.
Chargers are too.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fair.
I know. I love the Chargers all year. I'm just telling you, Jags are.
Keeping receipts, baby.
Yeah, they are. Literally.
You give me okay. This is what I'm gonna tell you.
Like
my separator.
greatest tweet.
Well, my separator.
I love how we're going against each other in all of these games. It's going to be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, what's your separator?
Derwin James. They ain't got nobody on that side for Jacksonville that can make that. They have a good defense, good young defense. Derwin, he knows some things though on the defense. Like he been there. Like this man here, without injury, he
is
upper echelon creme de la creme.
Oh, he's one of the top 2 or 3 in the league.
And they got him.
What is up with him though? Like he is always around the football. Like he's got Jedi mind tricks or something.
That's what
I mean, and to that point, like if the Titans' play calling wasn't stupid in that last game, then
Mom, Don used the S word.
I'm sorry.
Again.
I'm sorry. That's right. If it wasn't bonk,
Yeah,
then we'd be talking about the Titans this weekend.
we would be.
So your point is legit.
Like I just don't. I thought Jacksonville made it to that point, and that was every bit of a pat on the back. Dude, y'all taking the right steps to get to where y'all trying to go. The trajectory is pointing up. I mean, rapid pace. But, their season could have ended and they would have had a good season.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Chargers are good. That is a good game. That might be the best game.
Are these playoffs exciting, though?
Well, I mean, you've got 2 teams playing their third quarterback.
See.
I mean, that sucks. Can't
So
we
is
just
anybody going to watch them games?
If you have to play your third quarterback, I think you should be eliminated.
What? No.
And they should get the next team.
So much for guys getting chances. God, what a terrible, mean take. Oh, you're number 3. Get the heck
If
out
you're
of
too
here.
short to ride the ride at the amusement park, give me the next guy.
Can't go.
But what if they can get it done?
Like
Brock Purdy. Thank you.
He's the third string.
He's proven himself.
Mr. Irrelevant.
He's
Okay,
proven
but
himself. Listen, the Bengals are favored by 8.
if you didn't
Buffalo's
give him a
favored by
chance
13.
to prove himself, you'd never see him.
Nobody
like-
wants to watch that.
He's like the Tom Cruise of the NFL playoffs. He's short, but he can do it. He's
I
a great action
understand
star.
what Babs
Next
and
man
Hunter
up.
said, but I'm riding with yours because I like.
I eliminated.
Because it's an absolutely savage
Pull your
take.
card. That's great.
That should not be a take
love
from a
that.
mayor. I'm just saying.
Maybe I took my mayor hat off. Shane is in the Cumberland River. This can't be right. Shane, what's up, man?
Get out of there.
Hey, y'all. I just wanted to say how refreshing it was to hear Mr. McCourty's analysis on our quarterback situation. It was refreshing, and he nailed it. I think that there are a bunch more better quarterbacks, obviously, but they have a lot better ammo than we have, and there's a lot more worse quarterbacks in the NFL. I think if Kenny Hill still just had the right receivers and maybe a really good tight end, and we could stay healthy, I mean, we would be one of the best teams in the NFL. But definitely, I would love to hear Mr. McCourty on the air more often. It was very refreshing what he said, and it came from a defensive standpoint, and he understands everything that's going on.
Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. We will replay that cut at some point if you missed it, and then we'll dive into it because Slade was wanting to dive into it this segment, and we just didn't get there. But thank you, Shane.
Is that what you wanted to talk about? His take on Tannehill?
Yeah, more so
Sort
the
of.
team.
The team as a whole.
But to Shane's point, everything
that's
he
right.
said was right on. The only thing is he followed all those up with ifs. And you know where those lie. Corner store. Ifs and fifths. If Tannehill has receivers. If he has tight ends. If everybody stays healthy. If if
Well,
you
I
give me
think
2
he
more
has.
inches, I'll be in the league.
He has a tight end, but the tight end couldn't be a tight end because they didn't have any linemen.
If the lineman would have stayed healthy.
Yeah.
What if you were 2 inches shorter? Would you be in the league?
You got a point. Because I wouldn't been a tweener anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I remember talking about that about you,
Talk
and I
about
remember being
ifs.
pissed off about it.
Yeah.
It's
it'd
now
be
it's
interesting nowadays.
yeah,
I
it's
was gonna
positionless
say.
basketball now.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. So, all
What's
right.
your ifs?
We have to take a break.
Okay. It's
Hunk's gonna kill us.
too many ifs.
We got to get to the miracle, man.
If was
I know,
if.
but you can make
If we-
that argument for every franchise.
exactly,
Well,
but
guess
that-
what? If Patrick Mahomes didn't have the line if they didn't get better like they were last year.
Tyreek Hill, he would have the best season of his career.
But he had him, so that's why we can't play in ifs. Because if they don't prove themselves, we never talk about them anyway.
If we don't take a break, we're going to die.
Well, if is a fifth.
We'll be right back.
Corner. All right, Ron Slay in studio tomorrow. Apparently, he just found that out.
I'll just spend the night, I guess.
Hey, you guys out there, you think mortgage rates are still super high? Guess what? They're not. Think again. They've plummeted. We are now 5-month lows in mortgage rates, and Loan Pronto can help you out. Call them right now to see how low rates are, and maybe it's time to do that refinance that you've been putting off, or maybe it's actually time to get back to house hunting. Maybe you're somebody out there that just got done with the holidays and you overindulged and you have way too much credit card debt right now. There are a lot of us sitting there, and maybe you're getting fleeced with 20+% interest charges every single month. Or maybe your current home rate is over 6%. Loan Pronto can help you in all of that. Get those credit cards to zero. Start the home improvement project. Get out of that 7% loan that you were forced into last year. LoanPronto.com if you want to know more about them. I can tell you I've used them, and they're awesome. 615-499-5780 is your phone number. LoanPronto.com. Give them a call. See what they can do for you. 615-499-5780. 5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
What's happening, people? Ron Slay here. A couple of lines out there, and you probably thinking like, what, lines on the street? Nope. Lines in the betting world. Where you want to wager? Superbook Sports. Right now, you need to go and get to this part first before I tell you about all these lines. Download the Superbook Sports app right there on your mobile device, or visit superbook.com if you're on a computer or laptop or whatever it may be, and start placing your bets immediately. Big games coming up this week. You heard us breaking them down on the show, man. You want to pay attention. You want to hear about the little parlay. Even though parlay ain't been rocking, you never know when it'll come a knocking. You like that? Yeah. Hey, but anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is what you need to do is put Vegas in the palm of your hands, and now Superbook will match 100% of your first bet. So when you sign up, wager, and deposit in the same day, all of that will be matched, and you can't get any better than that. I'm just out here just rhyming. No matter if the bet wins or loses. Get into action right now with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789, and it'll always be your time. Book it.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com sports desk. I'm Joe Hunk. Today, the Titans began to interview general manager candidates, and they started in-house with a couple, including current interim GM Ryan Cowden. Now, stop me if you've heard this before. Lamar Jackson did not practice again today as the Ravens get ready to head to Cincy to take on the Bengals for the second week in a row. Tyler Huntley was out there, and he actually threw a pass, which if you know anything about the past couple of days, that's a surprise. The NFL has made it official that if the Chiefs and the Bills make it to the AFC Championship game, that game will be played in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Let's jump on in here. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slade, producer Joe Hunk. We've got the Miracle Man, the doctor. That's it. The doctor, Kevin Dyson.
That's all they get.
Dice, what's up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. How y'all doing?
I know the last time we talked with you, you were hopeful that the Titans could pull it off. We gauged from the conversation that you didn't think that they would. Mm-hmm. And it kind of went down about that way.
Well, it did, and Slade tried to call me out on that. Why you trying to do that on the radio, man? You know I'm a homer. I mean,
my dog.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, all the negative things that had happened throughout that losing streak reared its ugly head right at the inopportune time.
Yeah.
Offensive line struggles, bad decisions from the quarterback position, unable to convert first downs in critical moments, things like that had kind of hampered them up until that point, was just showing its ugly head at the wrong time because they played a spirited game. Listen, up until that moment, you felt like they had a shot, right? You felt like they might even win that thing. And then protection issues, miscommunication, not getting rid of football, not seeing the receiver in the hole. Like, this different things showed up right there in a moment where you needed it the most. And that's just kind of microcosm of how the season just played out there after that 7-3 start.
I think, Dice, man, that was the biggest thing for me, man. They were going into the game, if they could play Titans football, which would be not no penalties, but not penalties that's going to put you behind the chains and no turnovers. Just take care of that part. And I felt that defense walking into it, being as healthy as possible at the time, could carry you over the threshold, but it didn't happen.
Right, man. And, not that they were going to have to play a perfect game.
Right.
I don't think Jacksonville's that far ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're at a point where they're playing better football than the Titans. But as far as team aspect, I don't think it was that much of a difference. I think you still can't have those mistakes that eventually going to catch up to you. And you played somewhat of a good spirited football game up until that point, almost mistake free up until that point. But then the big mistake cost you. Because up at that, I mean, look how well the defense played.
Yes.
The defense played exceptional football, similar to what they did early in the year, not giving up first downs in the second half, not giving up no points in the second half. I don't think Jacksonville, even if you're able to punt from there, I don't know if Jacksonville goes down the length of the field and scores. I just don't know if they had that in them right then and there. Now, they could have proved me wrong, but the way the defense had been playing that night, it would have been rough.
Right.
So what was your takeaway from Josh Dobbs on those last two games? I obviously had not started a game in 6 seasons, but, man, really held up well outside of obviously that last play that cost him the game. But probably extended his career. I mean, he's a number 2, right?
A lot of times when people don't give you opportunity, there's just the unknown, right? You go through your things in preseason, but they want to see you in game action. Not only game action versus pros. And no disrespect for the guys that are free agents coming out of college ball. It's just a different type of game, different type of field. And you talk about a kid who was playing against one of the best defenses in the league and things of that nature, and how was he able to perform? And, if you're grading a guy, there's obviously some things, some quirks, some things you want him to correct over this time, this off season, but it's promising. Like you said, I felt like he worked himself or played himself into solidifying himself as a potential backup in the National Football League. I don't know if he's ready to be a full-time starter just yet, but I think he give you some kind of confidence that, in a pinch, he can come play 2 or 3 games for you and not be the reason why you lose a football game. Now, you can go back to a couple of weeks ago where he made a mistake there at the end, and then you can look this week, like you said, missed the blitz pickup. Again, I can even give him a pass on that. He came from depth. It wasn't like he was at the line of scrimmage. He came from depth, maybe held onto the ball a little longer than he should have, and was able to get sacked and the strip sack fumble. But he had a promising 2-game showing where you feel like, okay, it's an open competition potentially for that backup spot next year.
Now, you walk away from this game. What was your biggest takeaway as far as what would you do to change this team immediately? Immediately.
You got to get the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had some good moments the other night, but consistently throughout the year, that has to be addressed. You got to get some dogs, man. You got to get up front where they're dominating up front as they had, protecting the quarterback, which is the most valuable asset on the National Football League team. We know Derrick Henry, he was running the football. We had another 100-yard game. So they're able to move the line at times, but consistently, that's going to be an issue. They got to get better up front.
I mean, we were looking at the numbers yesterday. When you were playing, did you pay attention to that stuff, like what the roster might look like the next season? Did you ever dive into that?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Y'all did,
I mean, because look, Dice, I pulled it yesterday just from dead cap money and compared with the cap money. So they save $9.35 million by cutting Bud Dupree. They save $14.841 million by cutting Taylor Lewan. He actually has no dead cap money on his contract. They save $12.02 million by cutting Robert Woods. Now, they're not just going to cut all of these dudes, I don't think. They could restructure. But did you pay? You said you'd be lying if you didn't pay attention to it.
Man, we absolutely, because you build a bond with players, man. They go to battle with you, and I know we use the war phrases a lot of time, but you spend a lot of time with these gentlemen, locker room, cutting up, practice time, sweating, defending each other, and there's a lot of time spent and we know it's a business. Don't get me wrong, but you build relationships with guys to be able to have some kind of cohesive showing on the football field and whatnot. And so you definitely pay attention to it. And everybody's there, whether you're making a lot of money or not. And we all know the money is good, but at the same time, you want to win a championship, and you want guys in the locker room going to help you get there. That's doing it the way that you have established as far as your culture and climate of your locker room. So yeah, you're absolutely paying attention to it, and you also want to see, okay, what's out there? What we going to get? What we going to draft? We watch the draft, whether guys want to admit that or not. I'm watching the draft. I'm trying to see. They drafting a receiver in the first round. Dang, what they say about me? I want to know. And so that right there, you absolutely are paying attention, because we all know at this point, this is the business side of things. This is where it's out of my hands. This is when it's not football anymore. This is straight up business as for the next several months.
So, Dice, real quick, do you walk away saying, man, we go get the dogs up front and we can win with this style, not just win the AFC South and go and compete, knowing what's going to take place around you in the AFC, all of these primetime franchise-style quarterbacks that can really sling the ball? Do you still continue going forward with this style of play if you're able to go and get what you need in the trenches? Is that enough?
It's a timeless way of football. Mm-hmm. People call it old school football now, which is crazy, But I think football always comes down to the fundamentals: how well you block, how well you tackle, how well you pass and catch. It always comes down to fundamentals. I don't care what offense you run, what defense you run, anything. And then if my players are winning the battles one-on-ones against yours, it always comes down. I don't care what offense you run, I don't care what defense you run. I got to win the one-on-one battles. I got to be able to be fundamentally sound. So with that being said, if you're going to be one-dimensional, it's going to make it hard to win. I don't care how good the offensive line is. I don't
Right.
care how good your running back is.
Yeah.
You still got to be able to have other dimensions to your game. You got to be able to throw the football, be effective with it. You got to have playmakers on the edge. And we can all debate them now. I can say it now, season over. But this season changed way back, what was that, April, when that trade came. And I felt like when Vrabel verbally or visibly showed his disappointment when A.J. Brown was traded, that's when the season went south. Now, did I think they were going to crumble and fall after a 7-3 start? Absolutely not. I was saying the whole time. Remember, I was saying they're going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Maybe it was wishful thinking, but I did not believe they're going to go and run off 10 straight losses. That's rare in itself, right?
Yeah.
And a team that has a good nucleus of players, specifically on defense too, and on offense, but defense was playing well enough to be a playoff caliber team. You thought, okay, they got to win one or two of these of the last 10, and they didn't. The last 7, and they didn't. So, all that to say, man, can this style win? Absolutely. Is it the popular choice right now with the way they're doing it in St. Louis, in Cincinnati, of course, over there in Kansas City, even Buffalo is more wide open? That's the trend right now. But at the end of the day, those teams, what do they got up front? How well they protecting what? Mahomes, Allen, all these quarterbacks that Matthew Stafford, all these quarterbacks that had some success. At the end of the day, yeah, they got a play caller, but they got an offensive line protecting that dude too.
Kevin Dyson at KT Dyson at 87 on Twitter. Always enjoy the visits, Kevin, and good luck to your son in his game coming up a little bit later.
Yeah, I appreciate it, fellas. Anytime, y'all know you got me anytime you need me.
All right, Dr. Dyson, there he is. All right, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it, man.
All right, y'all.
All right, KD, there you go. When we come back, we'll analyze tape with Greg Cosell, the best in the business. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Yes, Titans fan out there. NFL wildcard weekend is here. Maybe your team's not there. If you're a Titans fan, obviously not there. But the other easiest way to get into the playoffs is jump in with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. If you're a new customer, you can join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All you have to do is sign up with promo code DAWN. DAWN. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from money line to point spreads to player props, and you can even combine those bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same game parlay. A lot of action this week, and you can get in on it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. And that's my favorite part about FanDuel Sportsbook, the easy to use part. Football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet. Get $150 in free bets, win or lose. That's promo code DAWN, promo code DAWN. Got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets. Expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
3HL 1045 The Zone. What up, Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, producer Joe Hunk, and Greg Cosell from NFL Films. Greg, what's up? How are you?
I love the lead-in. Love the music.
That was just for you, Cosell.
We literally never play Led Zeppelin, unfortunately, unless you're on. So
Well, you should.
I
You
know
should.
Well, you should.
We lost one of the greats yesterday in Jeff Beck. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I saw Vernon Reed tweeting about it, who was with Living Color. I guess he still is, but
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Jeff Beck, one of the best of all time. I saw Jimmy Page actually tweet about him.
I'm not surprised. I mean, they were. Let's see. Beck was in the Yardbirds. I don't think he was in it at the same time Page was. Page came on late, right before he formed Led Zeppelin. So I'm not sure. They obviously knew each other well because they moved in the same circles. They were both great blues rock guitarists. But I don't think they were in the Yardbirds at the same time, if memory serves me correctly.
I'm starting to think that we might need to do like a rock and roll podcast with Greg Cosell.
Hey,
Ooh.
We can do that. We can do that.
Aim for that.
Hey, blues rock is my thing, you know.
How much did you enjoy that Titans Jags game over the weekend?
I watched it.
Not too enjoyable.
I watched it live and I watched it on tape.
So,
what would you like to know?
Yeah, let's start with Josh Dobbs because not very many people knew what he could do. Maybe he didn't know what he could do. I don't know. But now he has 2 data points, right? Like moving forward, do you think he can be a number 2 quarterback in this league? Did he extend his career with those 2 games?
Without question. I mean, for the second consecutive game, he was efficient. He made the right reads. He got the ball out on time. What the Titans pass game lacked was explosive plays, but no, I think Dobbs has shown there's a poise, there's a composure to his game. As a passer, he's not a high-level talent, but he can make throws. It was just a shame that the game ended the way it did with that fumble recovery by Allen, because I believe that was on Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
It was his responsibility. Jenkins was his responsibility based on the way they chose to protect that front.
Coach Mack said that the Jags did a good job on that play, bogeying that blitz right there. And by the time he entered that position, Dobbs had already looked over there and had moved on. So
and he came from distance.
Yeah,
and it's also the way they chose to protect it, because what happened is the Jaguars had a loaded front, meaning there were 3 defensive linemen to one side, and that was the side away from Jenkins. So what the Titans decided to do was they took their left guard Brewer and he slid to the 3-man load. So that made Haskins responsible for Oluokun, who blitzed. So there was no one to pick up Jenkins, so he became Dobbs' responsibility, and Dobbs did not recognize that. Now that's tough because he came from distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the moment, I didn't know if it was Dobbs or if it was an offensive line check that didn't get made.
That we don't know, and I certainly don't know that, you know. But all I can tell you is how they chose to block it once the play started. If somebody made a call and didn't, we don't know that. But because they chose to have Brewer, the left guard, slide to the loaded front side, then it became the other side became the man side, and the left tackle Daly had the end, and Haskins had the linebacker Oluokun. So there was nobody who could possibly block Jenkins. So he was the responsibility of Dobbs.
While we're talking about plays, can we talk about the play that was thrown to Burks, where he just threw it across the field behind his back? What was going on there?
Yeah, your guess would be as good as mine on that one. It seemed like it was a called kind of thing. I don't think he just did that randomly.
No, they said it was called. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to ask the schemer, the play caller. You'd have to get the guys. You can't anymore. Yeah,
Cosell, he's gone.
Yeah. Well, Somebody decided, probably at 11 o'clock, maybe with a few drinks, that was a good idea.
Well, we do that. We do that a lot on basketball. I'll pass behind the back and stuff.
I just
I thought you were saying make decisions at 11 o'clock after a drink or two.
I just had never seen anything quite like that. From the middle of the field, spinning, like not even facing where he's throwing a football in a playoff game, basically. Man.
Yeah. I really didn't know what to make of it, nor did the announcers. It was kind of one of those things where no one really knew what to say.
Yeah.
Well, it was creative.
But, now you have, there's obviously larger questions now with this team. Because, if you want to take both sides, I know they ended up with a losing streak and they obviously didn't make the playoffs. But you could argue that this game was in some ways similar to the playoff game last year against Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
One could argue that given what they've been, that they played Titans football, and that if it wasn't for that 37-yard fumble recovery touchdown, they win the game. They hold the Jags to one offensive touchdown, as well as Lawrence had been playing, and this was how they play. That I'm sure some can make that argument.
That's what's tough about it.
I'm not going to quite make that argument, but I think some can, and reasonable people couldn't make that argument.
Well, that's what I was thinking, Cosell. It was almost like Johnny Majors used to punt on third down every once in a while. He would just quick kick it because he had so much confidence in his defense from time to time. And I kind of felt that way. Like, just punt the football, put the defense back out there. -1 total yard in the fourth quarter for Jacksonville.
Yeah. And I thought in the second half, their defense played really, really well. They did not get any pressure on Lawrence in the first half, but in the second half, they played more man coverage. They played more 5-man D-line fronts. That was effective generating pressure on Lawrence. I think Lawrence in the second half was 1 for 6 on third down. So, they did a really, really good job in the second half, and they did not allow an offensive touchdown. Now you get into the larger question of what you want your offense to look like. Can you beat, as we start thinking ahead, because obviously Mike Vrabel's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So as we start thinking ahead, do they feel, and this is a philosophical question, and there's going to be major discussions in the building, and I'm presenting it because not because I have the answer, but this is what will be discussed. Are you going to beat, the Josh Allen Bills, the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs, the Joe Burrow Bengals, perhaps the Chargers with Justin Herbert? Maybe even as he continues to improve the Jags with Lawrence. Are you going to beat those teams playing this style? Now, like I said, one could look at this game and say, yeah, we can beat those teams playing this way. Now you have to have that philosophical discussion and decide what do you want to be going forward.
And that would be my next question, Cosell. If they were to move forward, can you move forward with a back like Derrick Henry in the backfield? Like, can you get away? Because we know his production is 30. You got to get 30
That
times.
is the whatever his salary is question. I was going to say this $4 million question, and it might be that number.
Is it, I think, 9?
Maybe.
Yeah. And that is a question that needs to be answered as well, because Derrick Henry is not a scat back. Derrick Henry is not a back you give it to 9 times a game or 11 times a game. He's a foundation back that needs carries. So that raises another philosophical question, Slay. If Derrick Henry is your back, are you pretty much committed to the fact that he's got to get 20-plus carries every week?
Yeah.
In this game, they had 28 first down plays, the Titans, okay? I'm sure this has been discussed.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not listening to you guys every day. I'm actually working, believe it or not.
Come on, Cosell.
Yeah. They ran 28 first down plays versus the Jaguars. Derrick Henry carried the ball on 21 of those 28 first downs for 59 yards. And 14 of those 21 runs on first down came out of either 12 personnel with 2 tight ends or 13 personnel with 3 tight ends. So that's a choice you make as an offense. Here's how we're going to play. So, Slay, I think part of your larger question is that the way you want to continue to play?
Did you notice a drop-off at all with Derrick Henry? Because, from from the untrained eye, it looked like it was hard to kind of tell because of the offensive line problems. But it did appear that he got hit a lot more with some of these stinging blows that he used to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's lost a step or not. I don't know. But I will say that he didn't break away from the pack as much as he has in the past. I can't say that's him, or I don't know the answer to that question. But look, it was evident right from the start that the Titans O-line was struggling to both generate first-level movement in the run game versus the Jags D-line, and then climb effectively to the second level to block linebackers. They were overmatched in this game.
By the way, $15.9 million is the Derrick Henry cap hit.
So it's the $15.9 million question.
There you go.
Well, if they cut him,
$9 million dead cap hit.
If they cut him, which they won't, they would save $7.367 million. But I don't know.
And I'm not advocating any move whatsoever because I'm not in the building and I don't do that. I just don't do that because you have to be there to really make these kinds of serious decisions. Right. Well, that's the way I feel about it. I know many fans don't. They think they know the answer. I'm not that smart. I don't know that answer without being in the building. But it certainly would be a bold move if you feel once the coaches and whoever becomes the new GM, I don't know if it's going to be someone from inside. I guess there's reports that it might be. We don't know the answer to that until it happens. Someone could come in and say, hey, look, if we want to compete against the teams and quarterbacks that I mentioned, this ain't going to be the way to do it. Someone could come in and say that. And then you have to decide as an organization, are you open to a bold change? Or do you keep playing the same way with the idea that, hey, if we keep executing better, the usual stuff, that we can compete? That's a hard question. It's not an easy answer.
Yep.
Greg, do you feel Jacksonville has taken another step, or because I'm saying at the end of this game, if Jacksonville were to lose, you pat them on the back, they still had a great season, and I think they got pieces in place to where they could take a step, but I don't necessarily believe what I saw in the Titans game, and even the way they ended the season, when you get to playoff football, that they're ready to take that step.
Yeah, and that's a hard question to answer. I will say this. I think the nature of this game that they just won says more about Jacksonville in a positive way than if, let's say, Lawrence came out and threw for 350 and they won 31-10, because that makes it easy. They had to play a really tough physical game. They were behind most of the game. They stayed in it. And, they obviously made a play. It was a great defensive call, and they didn't call it with the expectation they'd get a touchdown, but it worked out that way. So one could argue that this kind of game says more about a team than if you're just having one of those days where you're tossing it around the yard and everything is going great. Now, I don't know what that means for this week. I have no idea. When you're dealing with young teams and a young quarterback, to me, it's very difficult to be predictive. And I don't do that anyway. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not a prognosticator. But I thought this said a lot more about their team than games where Lawrence was red hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had to find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they were able to do that. What matchup this weekend interests you the most?
You mean as I prepare for the Skylar Thompson-Anthony Brown AFC Championship game?
Yeah, I've already been all over that one. What I said? I said if you're playing your third quarterback, you should be eliminated from the playoffs and get the next team up.
So Don't encourage that, Cosell. Come on.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what one interests me the most? Let's see. Give me a second here. Actually, I'm fascinated by the Chargers Jacksonville, believe it or not.
That's my pick. Yeah.
And then I'd probably say Giants Minnesota, because they played week 16 in what was a really, really good game. And it was the only game this year in which Brian Daboll turned Daniel Jones loose in a close game, where he didn't have to throw it, and he had him drop back about 45, 46 times, and Jones was really, really good in that game. So that game intrigues me. And plus it's indoors, and the players will, there won't be a weather issue of any kind. So those are the two games that probably intrigue me the most.
Yeah, it was decided by a 61-yard field goal for those that don't remember.
I guess you could say Tampa Bay and Dallas to some extent. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What's going on with Dak Prescott, do you think?
I don't know, but I can just tell you what the film shows.
What does the film show?
He was really bad this week. I mean, and it was almost unsettling watching it because I think he's a good player. But for some reason, he just did not see things. His vision was very, very condensed. And when you don't see things, when you drop back, the result of that is you tend to play fast, because when you don't see it and you know that time is an issue, because, don't forget, we're talking about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It's not a lot of time. So if you're not seeing it, you start to play fast. He didn't play with any sense of timing, any sense of anticipation. When you watch a quarterback and you see his head move a lot when he drops back, that tells you he's not seeing anything. And Prescott had his head moving too much. So it was just one of those games, I assume, because I think he's been a good quarterback. I don't think you can argue that. But it was just one of those games, for whatever reason, he did not see it at all. And add to the fact that he was not particularly accurate with his throws, and he just had a really, really bad game.
What tilts your favor in the Jacksonville Chargers game? Who do you like? Which team do you like?
Well, I actually yesterday watched about 150 of Justin Herbert's dropbacks for this season, and I think as this year has progressed. What's that? Well, you know I'm a little nuts, Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and as this season has progressed, I think that their offense and their pass game has expanded a bit. They had some really nice pass game concepts against man and zone. Mm-hmm. Herbert is such an easy thrower of the football. I mean, he's a big physical athlete. The Chargers are intriguing me a little bit. They have their 3 really good wide receivers. I mean, Williams, I guess he missed practice. I can't imagine he's not going to play, but who knows? Assuming Williams goes, with Williams, Allen, and Palmer, Everett's a good receiving tight end. They've got weapons. I find that team to be intriguing. And again, I'm not sitting here saying they're going to win. I've been doing this too long. I don't do that. I could give you 5 reasons why each team could win or lose. So, but I just find the Chargers to be fascinating, as I sat in my office yesterday and watched all these Justin Herbert dropbacks.
Well, based on what you just told me, I now think that the Chargers are going to win. So there's that.
Well, don't share that too much with the audience, because that's not really what I said, but that's okay.
I love that you watched 150 Herbert dropbacks, because that's a lot better than when you sat down and watched all of the Titans' third down plays from last season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that actually took more than one day. That took a couple of days, because there's a lot. Because I'm not just watching them; I'm actually taking notes and trying to understand everything that's going on. And there's no way to understand everything without being in their meeting rooms and knowing how things are coached. But you do learn a lot when you watch that. You see things.
Well, I mean, that's as good of an example as to your due diligence that you take with all this as anything I've heard. Watching all of the Titans third downs from last year.
I feel like when I watch, even when I start watching the college guys, which I'll get into, soon.
Yep.
I just don't feel like I can watch, 50 plays of Bryce Young and say, okay, I know what Bryce Young is. I gotta watch these guys. Yeah. And you have to see them in different situations against different people. And, I always feel like I'm missing something if I don't see what I feel to be enough. Now, does that mean I have to watch 10 games? No. But believe me, I know a lot of people in this business who present themselves, they'll remain nameless, as experts who, literally watch 20 plays and decide what these players are. And that's, you can't do that.
I can't wait until you break down Bryce Young, because that's a guy that intrigues me, because we saw him at SEC Media Days, Greg, and he is tiny.
Oh, I know Bryce Young. In fact, I'll be in touch with him. I think he and his dad are going to come in and spend some time with me, because he's an unbelievable. He's an unbelievable kid. I mean, he is as good as it gets. I mean, and his family is unbelievable. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's going to blow people away.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
He's small.
That's the part.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be 5'11", 202, that kind of thing. So for some people, he's going to be an exception, and for others, they'll say, well, the way in which he plays, because I did watch some of him last summer, he's really, really a good player. Really a good player.
Yeah.
So instinctive. He's great understanding of what's going on, super intelligent. But some people will say, he's 5'11", 202, or whatever he turns out to be. He's going to be in that range. And some will just say, you know what? You can't play NFL quarterback. You're just too small.
Yeah.
Laura on YouTube, dang, Cosell might be the hardest worker in the NFL. 150 Herbert snaps, and he said it like it's no big deal.
Well, it's because it's really not. All it is time. I mean, that's the thing. It's just you gotta, and I love it. I mean,
And discipline.
yeah. Well, I've never had an issue with that. That's so. It's just time.
Greg Cosell at Greg Cosell on Twitter. Greg, thanks, man. R.I.P. Jeff Beck.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It was almost as sad for me as when Christine McVie from Fleetwood Mac passed away. A month or so ago.
Yeah. Thank you, Greg. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you.
Can't wait for draft talk, Greg.
Thanks,
All
Greg.
right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. More 3HL when we come back. 104.5 The Zone. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Those are your guys. Whether you know it or not, I'm telling you, go see them, and they will be your guys, and you'll be glad that you did it. I've bought multiple vehicles from these fine people, and they are there for you. No pressure at all when you go see them. They simply want you in the vehicle that's right for you. So whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned, these guys will be able to help you out. Went up there for a service call not too long ago. Saw my guy Daniel Gupton up there, and always love visiting with the fine people at Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. You will too. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. And they will answer all of your questions, take your test drive, go inside. They'll help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All of the dealership information is there. All of the inventory is there. Again, GuptonMotors.com. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in Springfield, Tennessee. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. 3HL 1045 The Zone. What is this new look where you can wear a hoodie with a suit? Orlovsky on ESPN's got a hoodie on, but he's wearing a suit.
He's kind of the only one I've seen do that.
Oh, I am on board for this.
No,
this
it's
most
like
definitely-
casual.
This
It's
most definitely
weird.
Hunk.
I rarely, even in the summer, I'm always in a hoodie.
You are always in a hoodie, come to think of it.
Middle of the summer, got my hoodie on.
If I said I own 35 hoodies, I may actually be shortchanging myself.
Breaking from On3 Sports, USC transfer wide receiver CJ Williams announces commitment to Wisconsin. And the only reason why that's of interest to me is my man's going, like, he grew up in L.A. He's going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Drastically different.
Rude awakening. A lot of people backing out, too, man, on those. So, Florida's quarterback.
Oh, yeah, yesterday. Backed out.
LSU's quarterback, Hayden something. I forgot his name. Hayden Williams or something like that.
Hayden Hurst.
5-star. Well, tight end.
Yeah.
5-star quarterback. He backed out as well, so.
I just can't imagine growing up in L.A. and go, hey, man, let me go test this winter thing out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Madison,
not there.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah.
He's not going to find a wife there, I'll tell you that.
And
Wait,
why?
Why
not?
Yeah, that's,
You go from L.A. to Wisconsin.
yeah, but you said he ain't gonna find a wife though. Like,
because you're saying like LA girls are
they got all the
that
women.
different?
They are way different than Wisconsin girls.
I mean, they like beer and
Hunk is
cheese
like
up there.
digging himself
I'm
in trouble.
Yeah, but he doesn't even
I'm
care.
too.
That's the funny thing about Hunk.
It's not like I'm trying to get a girl anyway. I'm good. I'm just being straight up.
They like beer and cheese curds up there.
And they like them a lot.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Babs,
They
rate
like
him
a
in.
lot.
Point your finger
I-
at him or
Babs is
something.
usually the one that
Oh
can do
no,
it.
this is great. I'm loving this. Oh, I'm gonna let him dig it.
Listen, all these poor Wisconsin girls that moved down here to escape that
Right?
winter.
Honey, are you focusing on your studies and ball? Trust me, I am. I have nothing else for me to do.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
That you know what that is?
What?
That's straight Southerner Alabama
Man.
just hating on the North right there. That's exactly what that is. Am I right?
No. Well, I mean, no. Just Wisconsin girls.
Laura.
I mean,
Hunk calls it like he sees it.
better than Ezra wrote about Southern girls. I mean, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Wisconsin.
By the way, you were talking about Walker Howard at LSU, right?
That's what I was
he was
talking
already
about, yeah.
there, right?
Yep.
He entered the transfer portal.
Yep.
I mean, you've got to fly into
Do they?
Milwaukee.
I don't even think they have a quarterback now. No, that's Florida in
what's the
that
name came
class.
back? Daniels. No, they still ain't got a quarterback.
I'm sorry, I just gave you a look.
Yes, you did.
She did. But I mean,
Yeah,
you've got to
Napier lost his
fly
guy.
into Milwaukee and then drive to Madison like an hour. It's out there, dude.
I'm trying to think. We went up there and played.
It is cool, though.
It was cool when we went
I
and played up
mean,
there.
Camp Randall, they go nuts there.
Oh yeah.
Look, you go to Chick-fil-A up there, and they have like a cheese sauce.
Yes, that's going too far. All we need is barbecue sauce.
I don't think they're dealing with barbecue sauce up there. Maybe they
Listen,
swapped it
I
out.
love me some cheese curds.
What is a cheese curd?
It's a little
Like
piece
a
of fried cheese.
gooey cheese,
A cheese
mess
ball?
of goodness. Yeah.
I don't like the word curd for food because a curdled means like spoiled.
Does it?
Yeah,
I thought it was like curd. That's a curl. Maybe, huh?
cheese curl.
Cheese curl.
Lamar Jackson just released a statement on Twitter.
Okay.
My man not practicing. He's taking a lot of heat. Everybody thinks he's just like waiting it out because of
Yeah.
the contract situation. He writes.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything, but he wrote this. Thank you, everyone, for your support and concerns regarding my injuries. I want to give you all an update as I am in the recovery process. I have suffered a PCL grade 2 sprain on the borderline of a strain 3. There is still inflammation surrounding my knee, and my knee remains unstable. I'm still in good spirits as I continue with treatments on the road to recovery. I wish I could be out there with my guys more than anything, but I can't give 100% of myself to my guys and fans. I'm still hopeful we still have a chance. I also want $50 million per year. No, he didn't say that.
I was gonna say
Like,
that.
wait,
boy.
what?
I was saying, hey, boy, that's hell yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Not
something?
yes, but hell yes. Coach Mack.
See,
Hill.
we were listening to you.
Hey, boy.
That's just testing.
Hey, but guess what?
Oh,
You ain't wrong. You ain't lying. man, that man better not run back out
Since
there, man.
he's been out, the Ravens are only averaging 12.5 points a game.
Yeah, they averaged 25 points per game with him.
And that bank account just steady climbing. That ticket gonna climb.
Now they're rolling with I think the third guy. Huntley's
Huntley's out.
throwing either.
Yeah. So guess what? Guess what your proposes for Baltimore?
Next team up. Who was next? The Titans?
Who's 6? Yeah. What is it, 7?
Put the Titans in there on a 7-game losing streak.
Hey,
See
they'll
how that
play
goes.
all the way to the last 2 minutes.
So it would be Titans at Bengals if you replace the Ravens with the Titans.
Bring it.
That'd be like an 11.5-point line, boy.
I'll be there.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
All right, happy hour coming up. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Stay tuned.
Hey, hello. All right, hot, cold, which one is it? We don't know. You come out the house, 64. You go back in the house right before you get in there, it's 35.
You just broke your flow.
I know.
You were rhyming.
I was rhyming. I was getting down, but guess what?
I was like trying to figure out how I was gonna rhyme Spring Hill heating and cooling in there. And
You were gonna get in there, Babs?
yeah, but you messed it up, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Well, thank you. Well, don't you mess it up, people out there. If you're trying to get your heating and cooling taken care of, you need to hit our people up. Kevin and them, man, they're going to take care of your Spring Hill heating and cooling.
Yes, they will. By the way, did you know that they have new regulations coming soon that could increase the price of replacing your older HVAC system?
Is that right?
Increase it by over 20%. So you better get on it now before that happens.
Jump on it. Jump on it.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling will do it. They offer 18 months, no payments. You can lock in today's price, and then you don't even have to pay until spring of 2024. How about that?
Love it. Got a kicker for you there. Also hiring, Babsy. Family that gives you all the perks. Yep. Medical, dental, vision benefits, 401k matching, all the good bells and whistles. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
SpringHillAC.com is the website.
Call them.
Good evening from the Superbook.com sports desk. I'm Joe Hunk. The NFLPA Collegiate Bowl is going to have a little Titans feel to it as former Titans head coach Jeff Fisher and former Titans running back Eddie George will be coaching in the game. The game is going to be happening January 28th at the Rose Bowl, and you'll be able to watch it on NFL Network. Now, big question, what is the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl? It is a bowl for players that are looking to go into the NFL draft, similar to the Senior Bowl as well as the East-West Shrine Game. You heard it just a few moments ago. Lamar Jackson didn't practice again today. Tyler Huntley, well, he was on the field. He waved at people. He also threw a football or two, but that was pretty much it. And your Preds are up in Canada. As a matter of fact, they've been up in Canada all week. They beat Ottawa on Monday. They lost to Toronto last night, and tonight they take on the Montreal Canadiens at 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Happy hour time. 5 o'clock hour in the Music City. Hope you had a great day.
Hello.
Was that Robin Williams?
Yeah, Ms. Doubtfire.
Yes.
I love it when you channel Doubtfire. Robin Williams, one of the great actors and comedians
Genius.
of all time.
So good.
Genius. You want genius? Like, he's known for, like, his comedic skills. And, man, you watch him do, like, a stand-up, and he's just covered in sweat. He's out there working so hard, man.
We get to it.
It's crazy. But maybe the most genius performance from him, for me, was in Good Will Hunting when he sat down on the park bench with Matt Damon, and he went about 7 minutes without an edit point.
That's
and,
tough.
I mean, it was unbelievable, the lines he was delivering. Anyway, yeah, Robin Williams. There you go. Rest in peace. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. We're right there.
Friday.
Slay dog.
Yes,
I'm
we
in the
are.
building. I'm in the building. Hey, I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
I'm in the building.
Gonna be in the SEC Network building.
I'm in
I
the
will
building.
be.
I'm in the building.
Sat there. All day sat there.
So, what time do you start? What time do you finish? Do you know?
Started.
It's kind of important, Slay.
I'll get there about 10:30. That's why I'll get there. I think the first show is at 12. But I'll get there at about, because I want to watch
12
Tennessee. I want to watch
Eastern.
Tennessee play. Yeah.
What time is the Tennessee game? I don't even
11.
know. 11, okay.
It's on ESPN.
11 Central?
11 Central.
Yeah.
Correct. Yo, good job.
Okay, so noon.
You on it. Yeah. So I'll get there before 11.
So
But I don't
you-
finish till 11:30 tonight.
So you and Pat Bradley just going to be analyzing everything that's going on that day.
Yeah, I'm going to be poking them. Let them know I'm a real shooter's jersey is going up in the rafters.
Chris Lofton.
That's right.
Who will be on the show tomorrow?
Yes, it will be.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot.
We pull some strings,
Welcome
baby.
to the meeting.
Sorry.
She is Dawn Davenport.
Hi.
She is fully plugged in.
Happy Thursday.
She was listening to me, my orator skills with the Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to make sure you guys were
Some
listening.
major numbers you were throwing out there, yo.
Well, I mean, go
50
big.
million, yeah.
Seattle with the 49ers. 49ers by 9.5 on Saturday. I now think the Chargers will beat the Jaguars after talking with Greg Cosell. Chargers
So I
favored by
couldn't do
2.
it.
Huh?
I didn't do it for you, huh? So
No,
Greg.
You didn't.
Who am I?
You do sometimes. You didn't on this game.
I roll with you.
Yeah, you did. I'm rolling against you on several games.
I'm gonna get in the car with Babs. Where your car? Where you park, Babs?
What kind of car you got?
Dude, where's my car?
Dude.
Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo by 13. I need to look at the weather for
at
Buffalo.
13.
Do
I
we have
think
a-
it's gonna be cold. I think it's gonna be like 30 something, if I'm mistaken. But that
Do we have a snow game situation?
That's a good question, Yoro.
Weather-wise, yeah. Yeah,
Snowy?
we could.
Mm-hmm.
We could.
All right.
I think that's good.
I'm going to go in there. New York Giants at Minnesota. We just saw them play. Minnesota favored by 3. Ravens at Bengals. Lamar Jackson not going to go. He hasn't been ruled out, but, I mean, he basically ruled himself out with his comments there. Didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost a level 3 sprain, he said.
I like that.
Shut
Shut it down.
Why do I have Buffalo, New York as one of my favorites on my Weather Channel app? I don't know. It's 42 and raining up there right now.
Because of how crazy that storm was that hit. You probably wanted to keep checking it.
Mm-hmm.
That was nuts.
28 degrees in Buffalo. Kickoff. Game time weather, supposedly.
Yeah, so it's the early game on Sunday, noon o'clock, I almost said, on CBS.
Noon o'clock's a thing.
Why don't we say noon o'clock?
I don't know. I like it.
I do know.
Midnight o'clock?
You know what? We're saying noon o'clock.
Yeah. Spread that trend. All right, yeah, Sunday, high of 31, low of 21, 6% chance of snow.
God, it's 17 straight practices Lamar has missed now.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was that many.
Babs, sometimes you got to shut it down, man.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't got time to be out here playing around with people.
The funny thing, speaking of playing around, is Baltimore playing around with him when they go ahead and sign Roquan Smith to the huge extension a couple of days ago?
He's the richest linebacker deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Richest linebacker contract in the history of the league.
Oh, wow.
$100 million, 5 years, 45 fully guaranteed, $60 million in total guarantees. Is the timing of this move disrespectful to Lamar?
So they hit Lamar. They hit Lamar with the usher. Watch this. Y'all seen the meme floating around? Watch this. These are my confessions. Well, I don't know what you're going to do. You ain't seen it? I'm going to send it to you.
Matrix. I just listened to that record last night.
Did you?
Or yesterday. Yeah.
Welcome to the party, y'all.
I just hadn't heard it in a while.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Pal.
Savagery.
Oh, that's right. There he is. He's Big Savagery. What's up, Ramon Foster?
Hey, say my name.
Ramon.
Do what? Say my name.
The mayor's fully plugged in.
Do you respect that guy?
Ramon, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
Not much, man.
you don't even do your show this morning, but you do ours. How
love
about
it.
that?
Yeah.
Obligations are obligations, okay? And when the 3-hour party calls me, I'm there for it. By the way, Babs, I'm sure I know y'all know this movie too, but Pulp Fiction. When you figured out why Mayer had Buffalo on one of his weather widgets, all I can say to myself, look at the big brain on Babs.
Well, the problem with that line is he said it about Brett. I know you changed it to Babs, but right after that line, he shot and killed Brett.
Right.
Well, no. Y'all better leave Babs alone.
Oh, I ain't messing with Babs. I ain't messing with Babs. How do you think the Titans' offensive line performed against Jacksonville?
I thought it was fair.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad. I mean, when you're playing pretty much still one-sided in a sense with how Jacksonville attacked the Titans, I thought it was fair. I know the biggest blip of the night was the sack fumble off the left edge, and when you got Dennis Daly over there, he's going to face most of that blame, but that wasn't on him, man. That was a perfectly run blitz where you hear people say disguising defense. Oh, we hit this coverage. That was that play right there, and I think Dobbs just got. Most quarterbacks will get got on that situation too, but it also was they knew they could get a young guy who was an unproven starter in this league on something like that. But overall, fair when you know you're fighting City Hall every single play with 30 reps on the ground in the run game with Derek.
You know, Ramon, up until that last play, obviously, where Jacksonville picks it up and scores, like I think that game, if you had to ask everybody associated with the Titans, went as they wanted it to go, right? Like they shortened the game. They dictated pace. They played great defense. They held the score down. And
they gave up 13 points.
If Josh Dobbs picks up that, I mean, if they just punt on second down and throw the defense back out there, they win.
Yeah, that's true. That's the Titans' method of winning as of late since I've been covering is, hey, just play around, muddy up the field as much as you want to, and then take you to the deep end when you're tired out. It just didn't work against Jacksonville in this sense, man. And kudos to them. But in general, you got everything you needed out of Josh Dobbs, man. I still sit here and say, why did this offense still look different with Josh as opposed to other quarterbacks? And maybe it's just recency bias when it comes down to making a statement like that. But I felt like the offense was more vertical. I thought the offense had more flavor. And, of course, Josh being able to use his legs more often than not, as opposed to Tannehill, who's been hurt a lot this season too. I just felt like it was refreshing to see him. Am I advocating for Josh Dobbs? Yeah, because I think he deserves at least a number 2 role But it's also a sense where you say to yourself, where is this Titans organization moving forward with the idea that this may be Tannehill's last year? So there's a bunch of questions that have to be answered in this offseason. And also, I would also say the new GM philosophy as far as what he wants out of his team and, who they're going to be able to go get in free agency or draft. We have a script for the entire offseason, man. Even after the hires, this is going to be a very interesting offseason for the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, it is.
I'm not one to advocate 3 quarterbacks, taking up that extra roster spot. But in this situation, I don't know that I wouldn't. You've got to restructure Ryan Tannehill. There's no question about that. But I thought Josh Dobbs showed enough to let everyone here know that he can run this system, right? And then Malik's not ready.
Yeah. So the thing is with me, I get why certain teams, the vote, the roster will only have 2 quarterbacks on rosters.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, it's because you're looking for skill at another position. We always carried 3 in Pittsburgh, and nobody ever had an issue with it whatsoever. And most times that third guy, you can potentially move him up and move him down regardless of practice squad because nobody really has much film on it other than draft statuses or draft info when it comes down to how you evaluated a guy. I think it's smart. Truthfully, as much as Tannehill's been hurt this year, that ankle situation, I know Marquise had it when we played, and he'd always kind of have something come up or he'd have to overprotect it as far as game day preparation and whatnot. But to me, a year older Tannehill, having a whole lot of injuries this year, I'd almost expect that trend, if they don't get a high-powered offensive line, to be the exact same. Because, again, I heard Dr. Dyson earlier, legitimately, he said, and this is a skill guy. The skill guy loves themselves, right? But he said we got to find an offensive line.
Yeah.
Imagine we're having other skill players mention that. So what does that mean? That means probably or possibly Tannehill would probably have the same amount of sacks and same amount of pressure that he did this year. So in that case, carry 3 quarterbacks because at some point you may have to use Dobbs. And, heck, we saw how quickly a season can go good or bad for the backup. With Malik, it went kind of bad. Yeah. With Josh, it went good. So you got to have some balance, and you better be able to have some people that can play dual positions when it comes down to where you need them in special teams. If that's the case, and you're saving that roster spot there.
Savage, let me ask you this, man, up against the break. How easy or how difficult is it for an O-line to move on from an all-pro running back?
Man, I say this
had to move
respectfully. I know how
yeah.
Man, I say this respectfully. The running back position is not what it used to be in this league. Even the dynamic guys. We saw Christian McCaffrey get traded. Okay? We're seeing right now Saquon having to make a decision, or the Giants having to make a decision on Saquon moving forward. We saw a guy in Deebo Samuel at the 49ers try to leverage the fact that he ran the ball also, and they still didn't give him the value that he potentially thought he needed because he's playing dual position, and he was a running back. The biggest knock was, well, you're running the ball, and it's great in that offense, but you're also more susceptible to injuries. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's the one position, Savage. I'm sure when you first picked up that ball and anybody else has picked up a football, man, what position you want to play? It's probably quarterback, and then it was running back. Those dudes, man, you have some special ones, and Derek is special. But they're more dime a dozen in the NFL because the pot's so small and the concentration is so small when it comes down to evaluating that if you put a guy on the NFL field, he's more capable than not to be very serviceable for you in a game day setting, given the amount of time you can to prepare. Okay. So how quickly do you move on? We went from Le'Veon being an all-pro Pro Bowler to the next year exactly. James Conner did the exact same thing.
Big savagery. Ramon Foster checking in on his day off. Thank you, Ramon.
Go get it, JoJo.
No doubt. Absolutely. 8th grade night tonight, baby. Got to walk my boy out.
Walk him out.
Getting chilly out there too, Savage. Be careful.
Yeah, it is. All right.
All right. At Ramon Foster, you can catch him weekday mornings. Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
That comes. So I was asking that because that comes from an experienced O-line as well.
Right.
With his situation in Pittsburgh, but
they eventually moved on from their running back. Now it's a different situation.
And to me, a lot started to stall too, because after that Pro Bowl year of James Conner, Then it kind of
that's true.
You know what I mean? Everything kind of leveled off, and the defense started, you know what I mean, being better. So
until Le'Veon Bell, and then
you know what I'm saying?
Weird.
Yeah. So I want to know how long is that transition if they were to move on from Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think you have to change the whole offense.
Exactly. Even with running backs being a dime a dozen, though?
Yeah, because I mean, Derrick Henry is the thumper of thumpers. You know what I mean? Like, he's Jim Brown. He's Earl Campbell. Like, he's a thumper of thumpers.
I'm with you.
Those dudes aren't just out there.
I'm with you.
So I think you would have to change the offense. So this OC hire may tell you something.
We can't wait for this.
You know?
Hurry up.
Titans completing general manager interviews. We'll tell you about that when we come back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. I want to tell you about a restaurant in Franklin that I absolutely love, and you will too when you go try Gina's Pizzeria on Columbia Avenue in Franklin in the Kroger and Target Shopping Center. You know what I'm talking about if you've been there. If not, you need to get by. Gina's StonefiredItalian.com is the website. Gina's is family owned and operated by my really good friend Steve Bledsoe and his wife Diane. They love being a part of the Franklin community. They've been in the Nashville area since 1998. This restaurant is amazing. Here's what I like to do. I like to go in there, and there are so many choices. It's one of these places where you're like, man, what do I get this time? Because everything's great. And then you smell something come by, you see it, and you're like, oh, I'll get the Chicago Italian beef this time, for example. Playoff season is here. The real MVP, Gina's Pizzeria in Franklin. Don't let their name fool you. Gina's Pizzeria has a full catering menu from pastas to salads to award-winning wings to incredible pizzas. Don't forget about the homemade desserts. Gina's Pizzeria can cater for a team of any size. Let Rusty and his team create your customized catering order that will leave everyone cheering. From game day Sunday to weekly work catering events, Gina's Pizzeria has you covered. Gina's Pizzeria, 3046 Columbia Avenue in Franklin. It is phenomenal. Get in there today. They are in the Target Kroger Shopping Center. Order online for in-store pickup if you want to do that. Gina's StonefiredItalian.com. 3HL 1045, The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. 615-737-1045. Noted Bengals fan, cousin Danny in the borough. Danny, what's up, man?
Hey, fam, how we all doing today? It's good to talk to y'all. It's been a little while.
What's happening?
Hey, I did not call to talk about Bengals. I'm excited about Sunday night, even more excited that I probably won't ever have to see Lamar Jackson in a Ravens jersey again. But I came today to spread cheer and good vibes to Titans fans because as much fun as I have trolling Titans fans during the season as an AFC opponent, the majority of my closest friends are Titans fans, and I have no ill will. What I do have is a clear-cut path forward for this franchise to get out of the mess that John Robinson dug them into.
Okay,
and there's
spill it.
3 points here. 3. And most people have considered the first point a trolling point. But as we heard earlier this week from a SPO-track professional on the Ramon and Kayla show, trading Jeffrey Simmons is not a death sentence to the Titans. It is an opportunity to open up a rebuild process that will not last 3 to 5 years. The Titans roster is an approachable, winning roster with a couple of glaring holes that can be filled with 1 or 2 really good asset moves. Jeff Simmons remains the most valuable player on this team, the most tradable asset, and as of right now, the most daunting future contract this franchise may have ever faced. Trading Jeff Simmons does not mean that you have given up on what Mike Vrabel has built and done with this dominant defense and the defensive line that can rush quarterbacks like no other team in the league can. There is a scheme in place that has made these players successful, and Jeffrey Simmons, phenomenal talent is a big part of his individual success, but his individual success is not going to dictate this franchise's success moving forward. We saw the best defensive line performance in playoff history with the Titans last year against the Bengals, and it did not net a win in the playoffs for this team. Not the defense's fault. Not the argument that I'm making at all. I'm just saying as good as they were, they weren't good enough to surpass a run-first offense with an average quarterback.
Thank you, Danny. And listen, there are a lot of people that think that Danny's point is a crazy one.
Yes.
But what's funny about that is I've had people bring that to me. Trade Jeffrey Simmons. He's got 1 year left on his deal. You could do it.
Okay, well that's what I was trying to go through.
He's going into a contract season. That's why everybody thinks he'll be re-upped now, which ultimately that's what will happen. My opinion.
Trade Big Jeff.
You don't trade Big Jeff.
Who's coming to the games if they trade Big Jeff?
I don't know, but here's the thing. Like, when they've got 3 more seasons in Nissan Stadium, right? When they go into 2026, into the new building, they better have their damn quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's not, my opinion, based on right now, I don't think it's Malik Willis.
Right. I agree. A lot could change, but right now, what we've seen and what we got to go on, I don't either. And I just...
It makes a lot more sense to trade Derrick Henry than it does Big Jeff.
I can see that.
But what's the value for Derrick Henry?
Don't know, but
what do you guys think it is?
He's a 1,500-yard rusher
at the end of his career, where people I don't agree, but people have said he's lost a step already.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. What is it? 7 years in?
But once you've lost a step,
it happens fast with running backs, especially running backs that are physical. Pound the rock running backs, right?
Yeah.
But I would sell you on the fact that he went for 1,500 yards behind that offensive line.
That's the thing.
And I think people would buy that.
Yeah.
I think people would buy that.
Yeah,
right?
But then you would have to ask, did him running behind that offensive line take years off his career too? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing.
Because for the first time he's getting hit at the line or behind the line.
He really battled for those 1,500. Like
right.
he grinded those out.
Listen, if you trade Derrick Henry, you're changing your offensive philosophy. I don't know that Mike Vrabel is willing to do that. He seems kind of the kind of guy that like believes in what he believes in and doesn't really vary from that. But maybe he is. I don't know. But you're changing your offensive philosophy if you trade Derrick Henry.
Yes, Ms. Davenport in the back.
Hand up.
You're going to trade your offensive philosophy. who the hell you going to throw the ball to? Because Mike Vrabel said it his own damn self this year.
Well, you're going to be
Who am I going to throw it to?
You're going to be really young at wide receiver because I'm going to draft like 3 of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's a hit or a miss.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, so it's such a weird – this franchise is in such a weird predicament because it could be – yes, which is why John Robinson's no longer here.
Yeah.
But it could be a burn-it-down complete rebuild or it could be a partial
I don't think it is.
rebuild.
I think Ryan Tannehill will be
You could go either way, though.
You could. I think Ryan Tannehill will be your quarterback. I think Derrick Henry will be your running back. The reason why, I'm open to the discussion on Derrick Henry because football is a business, right? So if you want to err on Derrick Henry, I would rather get rid of him too early than too late. You see what I'm saying? Because if he falls off the hill now, you've got no value. Plus, they're probably going to have to redo him too.
Yeah.
But Big Jeff, I'm signing that dude. That's the linchpin guy, man.
And as much as
you
people
can't find that guy.
No,
he's a unicorn.
You just took the words out of my mouth. You just took the words right out there. Exactly. As much as people saying he's not a generational guy or whatever, you ain't finding him.
Are you okay with? I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I mean, we all are, kind of.
Are you okay, though, with
Just
what
talking
you
through
saw
this.
out of Jeff when there's no Danico Autry, when
It's tough to
Yes,
gauge
Hart
because he
isn't
said he
it,
was getting
when
shot up every game.
Bud Dupree isn't out there?
That's what
You
I'm saying,
still
yes.
okay with paying that guy that kind of money when he's very different looking without the supporting cast?
Yes, because he's healthy. And this has been 1 year that he hasn't been healthy. Outside of that, nah.
What did he say from week 8? He took shots in the knee every game.
Ankle, right?
Here's the other thing. Ankle, yeah, sorry. Here's the other thing about Jeffrey Simmons. Did you see the stat during the broadcast that they put up there that he had been at least double teamed on 330 pass plays, pass rush opportunities? I'm at least double teamed 330 times.
I'm taking that, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because you got to think back when he is healthy. He was the one that made a sack, tackled for loss, ran on a screen 10 yards down, and tackled a receiver in 3 plays in 1 series. So, without question, I'm cool with him. I just don't. He makes it's a league. The reason Weaver was able to play that way early in the season was because of Big Jeff. Danico, without question, in any system, you got to have tandems for people to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because what was
in this game in general?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
You're
what was
right.
Aaron Donald without Von Miller?
Right.
Yeah.
When he
They've
got
gotta
there, you
have
know what I'm
somebody
saying?
next
You got to
to
have
him.
somebody.
Yeah.
So you'll find someone. It's just, man, I'm not letting. I ain't letting that piece go.
Jason McCourty on the
I
show
wouldn't either.
earlier from Good Morning Football. Yeah, I don't even think that's an option.
Oh, it's an option.
What, Big
Because
Jeff?
of what you
Moving
just
on from
said,
Big
though.
Jeff?
Because you just said it's a business.
Everything's an option.
It is a business, but not that dude.
I mean, do
You can't find
think,
that guy.
But no,
It's
I
him
agree.
and Aaron Donald. Then who?
Chris Jones, he's already wrapped up.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, as you got as we're seeing now, you can't pay everybody.
Very true.
Can't pay everybody. You got to
Definitely
figure
true,
something
but-
out. You got to make some magic with
I'm going
this
to figure
roster.
out a way for him.
I am too.
And then you've got to draft an elite quarterback. You have to hit on that next year. I don't think you get it this draft, and I don't think they'll do it because they drafted Malik last year. But new general manager is going to want his thumbprint on this franchise, and the quickest way to do that is with a quarterback.
Right.
But next year's class, you got Caleb Williams, you got the kid from North Carolina.
Drake May.
Right, and then you're only 2 years away from the new building. Then you're taking that guy into the new building and selling the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Playing chess here,
There's
Babs.
going to be a quarterback at 11. There'll be a quarterback there.
I just don't like this group.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll
from
fall in love
Kentucky.
with the guy. What'd you say?
Scouts
yeah,
love
one
him.
from Kentucky.
There's scouts that swear that he's going to be an NFL quarterback.
He is. Will he be a productive one?
You know what I mean.
No, I'm just playing with you.
Jason McCourty was on the show
You know,
earlier.
I don't agree.
And he was talking about this offense and said that it's more than a Tannehill problem.
You look at the Tennessee Titans, and Corey Davis left from free agents to the New York Jets. A.J. Brown's traded. Robert Woods is a guy I've competed against. Was one of the best route runners in the NFL. And Robert Woods is your best, and then you draft Treylon Burks. So we're going to say on one end, we know Tannehill is not the best of the best, but then we're not even going to surround him with a really good supporting cast. But then we're going to ask him to play at a level that we don't think he's capable of and surround him with receivers that, other than Robert Woods, are not yet proven, and assume that he's just going to lift him to a level that we would ask a Tom Brady to do or a Peyton Manning to do in their prime. So I think it's more to it than just saying, all right, well, he's making this amount of money, he should be doing X, Y, and Z. Well, don't get mad at Tannehill that the quarterback market pays a lot of money. So I just think there's more to it. Predictability comes into it. Yes, when you have Derrick Henry in the backfield and he continues to set a new rushing record every time he steps foot on the field every season, and yeah, we are predictable. We're going to build a team that can block you when you know we're going to run, and Derrick Henry's going to continue to carry the load because that's our bread and butter, and that's what we do, and it's been successful.
Jason McCourty, at Jason McCourty on Twitter. You can get that interview if you missed it. He was great. Where you get your podcast.
Really good.
Rate, review, subscribe to the 3HL podcast, and go to 1045thezone.com. Lines are with 615-737-1045. Jeremy in Nashville. Jeremy, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
You kind of stole my thunder here. I was going to say all this talk about trading Derrick Henry and like him not having as productive of a season as he's had in the past. And then before we went to break last time, you said Jim Brown was the ultimate thumper and all that stuff. I don't care if we had Optimus Prime back there. Could he have had a productive season with the offensive line that we had?
See, I actually did not make that point. I thought he was more productive than anybody else in the league could have been. 1,500 yards behind that offensive line was maybe the most impressive thing he's ever done to me. But I get what you're saying.
Well, that's my point. It's like, I don't care who we had back there. Like, couldn't have done any better than Derek did.
Yeah.
The second thing was kind of what you've already hit on, is that, like, if we get a new GM and his offensive philosophy is pass heavy and all this stuff, and Vrabel doesn't agree with that, like, we've already got our coach, so it's like a chicken and the egg situation. Like, what do we do there? I don't know. I'll hang up, let you guys chat on that. Slay, you're my second favorite UT basketball player of all time behind Ace Clement. Always a fan of you, man.
Listen to you.
Appreciate that, man. Much love.
If you know, you know on that one.
Man, Kristen was a dog. She set the record for, what was it? She broke Kobe Bryant's record in Philly.
Yeah.
Scoring. Like, Ace was a dog, boy, getting there.
Kristen Ace Clement.
Kristen Blue now.
That's a reference there. All right, we'll keep the discussion going. Stay tuned. 615-737-1045. One day we had her and the Meeks all in the studio at the same time.
Oh,
really?
It was unbelievable.
It was so good.
I would have loved that.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling now hiring. Check those guys out. Careers at springhillac.com. You can check them out there, or springhillac.com/careers. We'll be right back.
Still, I got wings. Get on in there, man. If you just riding into town, man, and just trying to figure out what's the best wing spot, I'm telling you right now, Strikeout Wings, man. Nolensville Pike, 3961 Nolensville Pike, 123 Ewing Drive, also located in the White House. It's real easy to find, 2500 Highway 31 West, man, right there in White House, Tennessee. Get on in there, tell the people you want the Ron Slay, and you'll get it dazzled. Everybody been hitting me on Twitter, man, blowing me up, saying, yeah, you ain't lied to me. And why would I lie to you? Huh? I ain't gonna lie to you about no food, man. It's the home of the sweet and sassy. Go in there, you tell them you want the Ron Slay. It's sweet and sassy, lemon pepper drizzle, Cajun ranch fries with cheese on top. See how smooth that fell? Yeah. That's what I make happen, man. It's finally here, man. They got lunch combos. Yes, indeed, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. every single day except Tuesday, $8.99 lunch deals. You can't beat that. And guess what? The service is phenomenal as well. So you know what I'd say. 1, 2, 3. Still I got wings.
I want to tell you about Xfinity Internet. It is so fast, and I need it fast in my house because I got kids gaming and doing homework, and we're doing work and getting ready for the show the next day and that day and all of those things. So Xfinity Internet is where I get my internet. Get the speed you need at a great price. Fastest internet on the largest gig speed network. Xfinity delivering gig speeds to more homes than anyone. So get ready to do even more on your devices with gig speeds. Gig speed internet is available to 99% of the footprint. So probably to you. Enjoy all of your favorite apps all in one place with a Flex 4K streaming box free with your Xfinity Internet. Stay connected on the go with over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. Xfinity's Internet service brings your entire experience together by connecting other services like Xfinity XFi, Advanced Security, Xfinity Flex, and more. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY, visit Xfinity.com, or drop into an Xfinity store today for more details. I go to the one in Cool Springs. Actual speeds may vary and are not guaranteed based on Xfinity's fastest available download speeds. Maximum download speed of 940 megabits per second when hardwired via Ethernet. Not available in all areas. Performance may be limited by customer's device configuration. 3HL 1045 The Zone. I do want to make sure that y'all hear us when we say we are not advocating for a Derrick Henry trade. We just talk things through on this show.
We're just talking it through.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
Why not cover them?
Yeah, like when I go home, I could go 40 West and go McCourty Lane over there by Loveless Cafe, which isn't a bad place to end up.
No, it's not.
But I will likely go 65 South, even though I discussed the possibility of going 40 West.
Make sure you get them biscuits if you go over there to Loveless.
I can't now.
Oh, yeah. Me either. Babs can get them for us. I'm going to be back
Look
soon,
at her
though.
smile.
The little devilish grin.
You're going to be back.
Now I feel like I need to jump in on the
Come on.
change your lifestyle, eat better.
No, this is only going for a little while, Babs. And then, like.
It doesn't work that way, Slay.
No, I'm saying, like, no.
You're not changing anything.
No, I'm saying then you can start having your days. You can have a day. You get your 1 day a week, you be fine. You feel me?
Yeah. Your
We got
cheat day.
candy, strikeout wings.
I might have gone to Tin Roof today and had something that I probably
See?
should.
That's what I'm saying. But that's okay because you're doing great.
I'm not a fry guy, but the Tin Roof crinkle fries
Oh,
are
they're so good.
amazing.
We went there the other night. You know what I had? I had the corn cheese quesadilla.
Oh, yeah. I saw the street corn quesadilla.
Street corn,
I saw
yes.
that on the menu.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
All right.
That is not
this is,
on your
We ended
change
the
your
show
lifestyle.
like this yesterday.
Guys,
talking
you can
about
tell
food.
it's getting close to dinner time.
Well, it's like
goodness,
a
what's
bunch of
wrong with
hungry
us?
people end up talking about food. This is what happens.
We got issues.
Not my fault
We
today.
got issues.
Confessions.
Yeah. Watch
Part
this.
2. All right. Join 1045 The Zone as 3HL. That's us. Broadcast live from Belmont University. Tuesday, January 17th.
We're at the
fun.
curb. At the Curb Center.
Curb Event Center. Come by between 3 and
You
6 to register to win some great prizes. And be sure you support the Belmont Bruins as they take on Murray State.
Oh,
Oh, that's going to be a fun game.
that is. I think Murray still got a little something in the tank, too.
Well, if they would have had that player that went to LSU, it's still.
Oh, man. He was killing. He killing this year.
Yeah. Listen to 3HL for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets or go online. Sign up for a chance to win today. 1045thezone.com/contest.
Man, there's so many people in the chat. Y'all just been hanging today. What's up, y'all?
We love y'all.
Man, show enough.
Somebody said, I forget, it's kind of far up, so apologies, but that if Derrick Henry goes, they're going with him. Tennessee Tim.
I'm telling you, you got to be careful with this, man. Like these type of players, man. Big Jeff, you talking about trading Big?
No,
man.
we're not. We're not.
No, I'm saying
Cousin Danny did.
Yeah. Like,
But this is how it ends up on the internet. Oh, 3HL wants to trade Derrick Henry.
No, we don't.
That's not what we
No,
said.
we do not.
Just talking it through.
Well, that's all it is, man. Shoot. You better hold on. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on. In Vogue, yeah.
Wow, that was
Like,
beautiful.
see, the more weight I lose, Babs, you're going to see a lot more different. You know what I mean? Hey, my lungs and everything. Like, I might.
My
listen,
lungs.
I'm looking for the nearest talent show. So, I'm telling you now, I'm straight up and down right here,
The
y'all.
nearest
No,
talent
yeah,
show?
like, and the big one. Like at
you're
the
not
Ryman.
traveling to,
No,
like-
no. Ryman, T-Pack.
Yeah, you're not going to Owensboro, Kentucky.
What's the little amphitheater? No, they ain't going to Dust Bowl.
Ascend Amphitheater?
That's the Dust Bowl. Yeah, Ascend, maybe Bridgestone if they can get me. But outside of that, dog, I'm talking about anything. Singing, acting.
What about American Idol? Do they still do that?
Yeah, they a little. To me, they're a little stingy on there. They ain't really open minded. I need somebody open minded judging me.
In other words, they only let people that are truly talented on there.
Dude, you know how many people are listening to us right now that are going to go sing in a bar tonight that are like have 1,000 times the talent that we do?
Yep. Speak for yourself.
I am.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm speaking for you, too.
They right there with me. We all right there on the even playing field where I'm, according to me.
By the way,
Oh, what?
we didn't give this proper attention. Maybe we will tomorrow.
What, this song?
No. John Calipari's not doing his press conference tomorrow. His pregame
Man.
press
We were
conference
gonna
tomorrow.
talk about that.
We so
Yeah.
Hey,
Bruiser
let me tell
Flint's
you.
doing it.
Interesting.
I love me some Bruiser.
Bruce is a dog.
So Coach Cal's wife
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Cal?
Yes, she's awesome. I follow her on Instagram, and she posts funny stuff about her roommate. In other words, Coach Cal. Like, roommate didn't take the trash out this morning. Whatever. She's hilarious.
If she's posting right now, are there any boxes in the background of the videos or anything?
Well,
Can you go to the liquor store and get some boxes?
She went away from like her funny post, and it was like a serious, like, I support my husband, whatever kind of post. I'm like, oh, things are not going well.
Nah,
If this is
spilled over
if we're
into the
getting
home.
like, we've lost the kind of funny, sarcastic post from Mrs. Cal. That's not good.
That's how it kind of always happen. Things run their course, and sometimes you get re-energized, and you can start over again. Will they let him start over? He got a class next year. Can he make it through this season?
I don't know, man. If I'm him, I think about that Texas gig because you restart your clock. You take those dudes with you.
We do.
They have the largest endowment in college sports outside of Vanderbilt. Who doesn't use it? I might do it, man.
I'd do it.
Big Blue Nation
I'd
wanted to do it.
You're not winning. You're not winning over that fan base. You're not winning that fan base back unless you're winning multiple national titles.
You know these guys think like this. Not to put thoughts in his head, but I could totally see him thinking, like, what more do you want me to do?
Win titles.
Win titles.
And that's the answer.
And that's what he's saying. Answer,
and that's what he's saying too. Heck yeah.
I'm just looking
If
at
I
it from
were
his
him, I'd
Y'all
go
been
to
in his
Texas.
locker room? You see all these players I'm putting in the league?
Texas has so much money. I'd be like, peace. I'm out.
And they're coming into the SEC.
If he would have leave.
Oh, what a great story.
That's
Do it, Coach Cal.
Ooh. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Ooh.
Do it.
Then who's the Kentucky guy?
Ooh, that's what I was
I'm
going to say.
saying.
Who would you hire in Kentucky?
Do you think it'll be this type of excitement
it's
around it
getting
again?
good.
We brought all this up right at the end of the show. All right, back at it tomorrow. Love y'all. Good night. God bless.
See ya.